Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if it's your first time here. I am...
Anna? What? What are you doing here? Okay.
We're doing it!
We're doing it. We're here.
I know.
It's happening.
We really are. We've got matching mugs and everything. Ow.
Sorry. It's not too hot. Because nothing says I'm in England
Britain.
like drinking tea in 80-degree heat.
Please recite the
In a
UK
flannel.
national... We should be in best stops right now.
I know.
We are so stupid.
It is so hot in
It
here.
is so warm.
So you will see beads of sweat
so,
later
so
on in this
warm.
video.
Swear to
But
God.
anyways.
Swear to Doji.
I swear to...
Doji Gabbana. Okay.
Guys, as you can figure out by now, this is not a normal video.
No, something a little different.
Little different, but you may have seen us on either of our playthroughs of Last of Us 1 or Part 2 on either the YouTube channel or Twitch channels, but you might not have known that we're actually best friends. Hence,
I'm joking.
Hence why I'm at her house.
I was about to get choked out.
This is so different to anything that I've done or brought to the channel before. I know you guys have seen trailer reactions and playthroughs, but...
Which I've loved, by the way.
Oh. Anna watched my content. Do you want to talk
No,
about
sure.
Okay, wait, let's talk about how we
It was a
became...
rainy day.
It
I
was
actually
dark
don't know.
and stormy.
I don't know what the weather was the day that I started watching your stream, but I found you playing Uncharted.
I was driving a car off of a
Yes,
cliff.
was it Lost Legacy or were you playing the regular one?
I think it was Uncharted 4.
Was it?
I think it was Uncharted 4.
Did they all involve cars and driving off cliffs? Gravity was not her friend on that stream.
No.
I will tell you that for free.
It never is.
And then I just harassed you till you replied to me.
No,
I'm joking.
no. If you want to like be honest about it, I remember something. I don't know. You slid into DMs. I never look at DMs.
Yes,
never.
I sent you a message on Instagram, and knowing you now, it's funny that you even responded to that because you don't ever reply to anything. But somehow you saw it.
A little. I responded. Okay, let's.
No, try and defend yourself. Go on.
All right. That's no.
Hmm?
No.
Okay, fine. Fine. But yeah, no,
I'm not on my phone a lot.
You saw it, and then we started playing in the forest?
Yes. So we did day one. We were like, let's go play the forest. And at that time, like, I'd been doing content, not so much on YouTube, like on this side, but I've been streaming for 4.5 years. I just gone full time.
Oh my God. Had you just gone full time then?
Yeah, I just gone full time when I met
think
you.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, before, I think when you're not doing it full time, you're like trying to balance all of these things at the same time. And for me, Friends was like the last thing I was trying to consider like pursuing. I know.
No,
and it was a mistake. Like, I think looking back, my life has been enriched like tenfold by the people that I've met like online and through streaming and other creators. And you just happen to be one of them. And so I think like my first friend like that I really like made and then decided to like pursue seeing each other and meeting up and making time for one another, not just online.
I'm sorry that I happen to live super
I know.
far away.
I mean, let's not pretend
I
like it
just
wasn't
lived-
selfish. Like, oh no, I have to come to the UK.
I know, but I just don't think we ever thought we would get on this
No.
well. So therefore, the idea of having this super long distance best friendship, we never had a clue that it would end up being that long distance. But it's been nice. We got to do trips and we
It's been very nice.
met each other right before TwitchCon Paris.
Yes.
She came over here.
It's my first TwitchCon. Like, she's gotten me out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
I will say. Like, I think it's so easy when you're creating content to, like, stay in your space, like, in your
It's a
house.
bubble.
Like,
Everyone,
yeah.
every streamer has their own little bubble. It's so easy. You'll get comfortable. Like, even you just coming to my house right now with my setup and everything. It's like,
so
oh my God,
different.
my
Like,
camera's
the
in a
lighting and
different
everything.
place. Yeah, like...
You're like, the mic, that's not my mic.
Yeah, it's a comfort zone. It's a comfort zone. So it's sometimes nice to... I think I learn more about being a creator. I learn more about games, about how other people like games through having friends.
Yes,
that are also doing what I'm doing. So.
And I think there's an element of it because you're behind the screen so much, like, whether you're a creator or not, it's like... There's an element of loneliness just in the air in general. And
we're
then...
all at home behind a desk.
Yeah. So it's nice, like, getting out and having an excuse to. And I think we talk about this in our communities all the time, and we share it with you guys. But, like, that sense of community, that creating friendships and really making it about more than just the game itself is one of my favorite parts about doing this. And it's just cool to see how much of an impact it's had in our lives, but then also in some of y'all. Like,
it's a spider web as well. Like, it becomes like two families, like, you know, merging and everyone getting to know each other, and it's such a beautiful thing.
So we thought we'd officially merge it together and
for a video
finally bring you guys something. And we thought, what do we have in common?
Not a lot. Seriously though?
But like, really?
Not a lot.
Not a whole lot.
But the thing that I think that has been the foundation of how close we have been is how I love video games. And
100%.
This game, this franchise in general being one of them, it's my favorite franchise of all time. I know it's one of your favorite franchises, but not the favorite. What is your absolute favorite?
Okay, that's unfair. You guys know I always say Fable for everything, but it's a cop-out. I hate favorites.
In my head, it was Witcher related. But
I would say, I did say that. I think Witcher 3 usurped Fable this past year. Or 2 years ago now. No, this past year. Gwent. It was really Gwent that took it away. I'm a love for minigames. I've got an addictive
Gwent itself, just as the minigame has overtaken it.
Yeah, just Gwent. The minigame.
But yeah, the second one is my favorite, particularly over the first one, which I think often people don't agree with, or it's a little controversial to say that. A lot of people just have got a lot of love for the first one, and the second one is a bit mixed.
But we agreed on that.
Yeah, and we
actually bonded on that.
Yeah, talking about this a lot. And then I think because we've spoken about this game just off stream and off work so much, I was like, I know that my community had wanted to see this, and then yours as well. So I was like, why don't we just do this together and talk about how we feel about this game together whilst you are here? So that's what we're gonna do.
That was like the thing about it too, is like we probably voice note every single day, and at least for me, I know like a big thing that I've always respected about you is your love and respect for games.
I love them.
Like
I like them. Unhealthy amount.
Just every game. Like you always come to me and you're like, hey, have you seen this game? And vice versa.
Yeah, we talk about them more than we talk about anything else. So
it's true. We always joke how she's so much taller than me, and that's not true. I'm not actually 4'11".
When I saw you on camera, I thought you were little. And you were like, no, I'm not. I remember in your chat being
everybody
like, how
always
tall are
thinks
you?
I have small girl energy.
You look small on camera, but she's not. You're more like me. You're 5'8".
5'7". 7.5. If you're under 6 foot, you always use that half. All right.
She's proud of it.
Gotta.
Yeah, we're both pretty tall.
Yeah, taller than
pretty tall.
But anyway, so like the whole story of our friendship and stuff. Met before TwitchCon, came over. I basically like told her, I was like, I think we're gonna be best friends. I think the second time I ever talked to you. Your first
this is
ever,
wild.
This is
it's so crazy thinking about it. Your first ever response to me on Instagram was, I just think we're going to be best friends.
When I know.
It's the first response you ever made to me. The first ever private message you'd ever sent. And I remember thinking, oh really? Damn. And then here we are.
2 years later, we've both been friends for 2 years.
There we go.
Like in September, I think.
It happened.
Oh gosh, it happened in the forest.
God, like 100. Maybe how many hours did we play the forest? I don't even know. But
so many hours.
And the second one.
And then we just made it like a Wednesday, like normal, like
Wednesday mornings. You wake up at 6 a.m.
in the morning,
I
but
get
y'all
up
know
at
I like
11.
I'm alive at 6.
Yeah, she's a morning person. I am not.
But I also don't wake up. I reanimate. So
you scare me. You scare me. If she's just like having a nap on the couch, or if she's falling asleep, and I'm just kind of like, if I just want to be like, good morning, or just something, or if I just want to be like, you okay? Rather than just like slowly, groggily waking up, you will just.
No, I'm the Energizer Bunny. I'm like, all right, so much to do, so much to see.
Out. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. It must mean that you're not. It makes me feel like you're never fully asleep, which is kind of scary.
No, I'm always one eye open, ready. Which, to be fair, when I'm staying at her house with her serial killer cat,
You know what? You may see her, guys, as she may just pop in and attack.
She might try to right hook,
try and love us. Something like that.
Yeah.
Did you say, so you prefer the second to the first? Did you end up making that choice?
It's really hard because I always say this with games, well, and more than just games, but you always remember your first. You know?
Yes.
I feel like the first one is the foundation. It's it lays all of that information out. It gives you the world. It gives you the characters.
Totally. It creates everything from scratch.
And that
is the tube train, if you can hear that on the microphone.
It's always hard because I feel like with so many different games, you have that respect for that first game, but then you're interested to see how they pivot and how they build on top, what kind of new mechanics they bring in, like everything. Because, with films or even with books, you get anxious. You don't know if this sequel is going to live up to the hype of the first one and stuff. And I think because I played them so differently. So I played...
Did you play them back to back?
No. So remember, I played Last of Us part... So the Last of Us that you guys have seen, and I was very, like, clear about this, was not a first playthrough. The first time I played Last of Us, it was, like, maybe year 2 of content creation back when I was 22?
Oh, baby
I was a baby.
The baby Kasta.
On stream. And so if you guys have tuned in for a stream, you might know there's a lot going on. And so it was very chaotic. And so that was the time I played the first one. Then the second one came out, and I think that was when I was still part-timing and everything, and who knows what I was playing. But I had heard such negative things about it.
The second one?
Yeah. Like, I had heard just, like, mixed reviews.
It's crazy to me.
But it did me a favor, because I had heard, like, mixed reviews, and thankfully no, like, direct spoilers, but I just heard, like, I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it. Like, the... It made polarization.
You
Yeah.
You had to take it neutrally because you couldn't go in with any preconceived.
Well, no, I went in thinking it wasn't going to be that great. Right. I was just like, okay. And that's the thing is, like, I always want to find it out for myself. So I'll let myself kind of go in. I mean, we always go in with biases or expectations, whatever it may be. So I think I went in thinking I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I did. And then I was like, I remember I ended it. And I think you were the first person I messaged because she was so excited for me to play this. She's always like, play.
I love it. You know, actually, love is actually probably the wrong word because the game just absolutely destroyed me. So, but I think because it destroyed me so much, it became my favorite game because I thought to myself, no other game is going to be able to make me feel as much as this one did. And I think that in itself was the reason I gave it like top spot. But carry on.
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah. I think so. I think I like to because they told the story they wanted to tell, and that's something you and I have talked about.
They pandered to nobody.
Yes.
There was no thought of like, okay, how can we make this, nice and everyone like it and everyone be happy with it. They didn't care about that. It was like, this is the story we want to tell, and it's going to suck. And there you go. You can like it if you want to, or you don't have to. But yeah, I really respect that. I think.
So, what was your story with it?
With the game?
Oh.
You sleeping?
I showed her Scrooge this morning.
Oh.
I showed her Scrooge this morning. We were talking about the Ghost of the Future where he's just like...
Why were we watching Scrooge in June?
Because I love Christmas.
Because she loved it. And I do whatever she says.
It was the thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing. Okay, so Last of Us. Talk me through it. Because it is your, like, I mean, if you can't see, I know there's a glare, but like posters... She has the flannel shirt.
We have a jean jacket with The Last of Us on the back of it. We have a t-shirt. I have a cap. I have the artwork that arrived a few days ago.
I think the PS little on your keychain.
I have that controller is a PlayStation, is a Last of Us 2 controller where the buttons are bullets. It's very cool. But yeah, Last of Us is my heart. You know what? I played the first one and loved it, but it was just more. I didn't think it became. My favorite kinds of games are post-apocalyptic third-person shooters. If I can just have those kind of games for the rest of my life, I'm just happy with those.
Star Wars.
I didn't say
that. Bloodborne. Star Wars.
I didn't say that. No one wants to watch me play melee games. It's just gonna be painful for everyone involved. I promise you.
No, you kicked butt in Bloodborne.
No butt was kicked. One small mini.
One small
vindictive boss. One optional boss was kicked. That was it. But yeah, the second one came out, and I just think as I just went through it, I couldn't think about anything else. I actually couldn't think about a single thing until I was playing it again. I've never had that experience, and I just thought, wow, this is such a smart way of storytelling, and I just decided it was the best thing I'd ever experienced. So I think they both became my favorite franchise, still as a result of the second one.
Oh gosh, well, you want to elicit a strong emotional response. Like for us, it's not just relatability. It's not just escapism. Like, I think that games are a masterpiece, and that's something we connected on.
They're art.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, it's a really, really huge medium that I talk to her about all the time, and I say that it's like this untapped part of the entertainment industry that so many millions of people don't even know exists, and it feels almost still like a secret.
Which is on the way up. Like it's always on the way up.
Totally, but it's never going to be the way that film and TV are so mainstream, and everyone consumes film and television.
Well, because it's still regarded as like a children's thing in a little bit. Like in some facets, it's like people still look at it as like you're a kid if you're still playing it. You know, I can't count the conversations you talk to somebody and they ask not even what you do for a living, but what do you like to do? And you're like, video games, and they're like right. I put those down in middle school.
Yeah, they just assume that I'm playing Rayman 24/7 or like. You know what I mean? Do you remember Rayman?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, which are both
I am still.
Valid uses of time. But even from an acting perspective, when I do work in games versus work in any other media, it's just not taken the same way. It's just not taken as seriously by any means at all. So.
Which, if you guys are on my channel and do not know, this is the lovely voice of multiple people, but one game you've seen on my channel is Plague Tale Requiem. Yeah. Sophia. We have the Sophia.
That was when I just started becoming friends with you as well, actually.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Just
yeah. Man, it was like, it's been really exciting to have a friend that has so many incredible accolades, because like celebrating your success has been really cool, and you've just continued to surpass all of your expectations. All of my no, she's in an emotional. She's a Cancer.
I am a Cancer. She's an Aries. Can you tell?
Yeah, if you don't know, she does voices in multiple games. I still want to play the first game you ever voiced. I want to do the country. She gave a country
game.
But so what if you had to name? I'm gonna put you on the spot, but if you had to name like. Oh man, what I hate doing these questions though, because I know it's not, you can never summarize a game to like 1 word, 5 words, 500 words, but I guess what is one of the things that I think really made it stand out to you specifically?
This
2,
game.
Last of Us 2.
2? Oh my god. I think it kept you guessing the entire way through. There was no way that you could lean anytime. And anytime anytime that you went, oh, I figured out how I feel about this, the game goes, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. Yeah,
it challenges
Here's this level. And it's pulling you morally in every which way and direction. And I think I just found the game in itself so brave and so bold and so unapologetic. And I think that's what I just respect the game probably more than anything else. And it also just broke my heart.
It did.
I thought that it was visually stunning. I thought that it was inclusive, and I thought it was groundbreaking at the time. I thought there was just so much about it that was fresh and just about real human interaction and real human
emotion.
Yeah, just the dilemmas that we have as human beings. I think they were almost all umbrellaed in this game.
I think a big like centerpiece of it too is that family comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and it's not just blood. Like it's not. I think it's the people you pour into, which is something that Ellie explores in part 1, but then also in part 2 with her relationship with Dina.
Yeah,
like it's what you put into something is sometimes like,
especially in the environment that they're in, which is so different to anything that we could ever experience, and the stakes are so much higher.
The Rat King. Nobody needs to experience the Rat King.
Oh my god, the Rat King.
Hot rodents.
I remember this. Speaking of the Rat King, I mean, maybe that'll come up in this documentary, but when that came up, I was like, what? I've never, like, there was no boss fight in the first game. Not really. Not like a boss moment.
No.
And I was like, what is this? It felt actually really out of place, and I talked about it a little bit on my playthrough, but how did you find that fight? What did you think about that?
I thought it was fine, but it scared the crap out of me, because you're in that you're in that subterranean kind of area. What was it, a parking garage? It was like
the ambulances in a the
ambulance like in a parking
bottom of a car park or bottom of a hospital.
Dark lighting, kind of flashing around. I think I had enough ammo during the fight though, so I was fine.
Yeah.
But did you go back and ever do the hard mode? Because I didn't. I did normal. I want to say. But did you ever go back and challenge?
Such a good point. I have no memory. I know I've done the first one on hard mode.
Have you plat the game?
No, but I want. What? You know what it is? I'll tell you why. A platinum often means like immersion breaking the story in order to go find everything, and because that game hit so hard for me emotionally, I didn't want to I didn't want to separate experiencing the story to be like, oh, where's that coin, because it would stop me. Yeah, I feel like it would stop my experience more to go have to look for little things and do things a certain way and get headshots or whatever the requirements are for
there were so many. I do love collectibles and I love a good mini game, but I think with this one I didn't stray too far from, like you said, like I didn't want to pull from the story that I was trying to tell, but it was really, I think I talked about this in my playthrough, but I have a coin collection, so not from but like the US had done these minted coins.
How many did you have?
I have all 50. My dad had collected them for all 3 of us kids, and like we all have like our set of 50 state coins, so it was kind of like a cute little thing.
I had no idea. That's so immersive almost.
They like printed them. I never knew. I was so young at the time, but
amazing.
Well, should we get started?
Yes, we should.
What we're going to do is we're going to be watching it, but we want you guys to know that we're going to try to be pausing it whenever we do want to kind of dive into it and talk about it more. This is 100% through our, like, the lens of our perspective and our thoughts and feelings on Last of Us 2, which we both love so much. And it's not exclusively just the reactions. You're going to hear a lot of our thoughts and feelings and opinions. And
so many.
So many
which
ranting
we
sessions.
never have and never
we
share
never
on a regular
send
basis.
10-minute voice notes about nothing.
10 minutes.
10
minutes is an understatement, I'm sure, for some of the things that we've sent.
But if you voice note somebody, you know what we're talking about, where you're like taking out the garbage and then a ambulance goes by and you're like, wait, what was I talking about?
Brushing your teeth in the shower,
I've heard Buns like purring nonstop, everything. Oh, when she's on the tube, when
messaging on the go at the same time.
Yes, yes. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I think I want you to speak for yourself, but I think we both just love getting to do this, and we really want to be able to do more things that you guys want to see as well. So if you guys enjoy this, let us know if you'd want to see anything else. And just thank you guys for all your support. We talk about this all the time, but we feel
really lucky to have the opportunity. Yeah, we try and remind each other to be really present and grateful for this opportunity, because it's it's a really incredible thing that we get to do. So yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. In 2016, Naughty Dog and PlayStation began the production on a documentary about the making of Last of Us Part 2. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the footage had been left unedited until now.
I guess they must document the making of every, as they're making something of this scale, especially AAA, they would be filming as much as they could.
A lot of background, yeah.
Because the players love this stuff.
Well, I tell you all the time. Yeah, I always tell her, from a production standpoint, I want to see the storyboards. I want to see the thought process. I wonder if there's a
Okay. Thank you all for what is about to be a very long presentation.
The hell?
Is this him telling everyone what the story was then?
Anthony and I ran some numbers, and to our best guess, The Last of Us Part 2 is 10 to 30% longer than Last of Us Part 1. However, this is the most detailed story presentation we've ever done. If you think about the presentation for T1, where we kind of talk about the quarantine zone in somewhat detail, even though most of it changed, and then it's and here are some things that might happen with Joel and Ellie. They might go into a spore-filled subway tunnel. They might fight some cannibals. At some point, Joel will get incapacitated.
Cannibals? What?
This has everything figured out.
No.
Even though it might change.
The cannibals being...
every character is accounted for. Every cinematic is accounted for in this presentation, which means it's going to feel twice as long as the first game.
I'm thinking more of the...
So when you freak out, that's
the
rule. That's part of this.
Yes.
But could you call them cannibals? I guess in my head they're the cult. I call them the cult.
Well, I guess you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors.
True.
Oh, this is about
slicing and dicing.
an hour and a half to 2 hours. So hopefully you got your pee break. Okay. So we open on 15-year-old Ellie. This is a few weeks after the events of the first game.
Story spoilers.
Yeah, you need to play this, guys, if you haven't. If you're watching this and you haven't played it, you're insane. So you go.
What are you
doing?
Play it right now.
Basement, and Ellie sees Tommy, and he's just finished climbing out of this basement, and he's hurt bad, and he's rambling about something needed to go after these people. Ellie's trying to ask him what happened, where's Joel, and he doesn't make any sense to her, and she starts to go downstairs. Tommy grabs her hand and tries to stop her, but he's too weak. She rips her arm away, and she heads down.
I want to see the
and
reaction
with each step,
when he tells him.
Her heart races faster and faster as she sees this trail of blood. She opens the door, revealing Joel's mutilated body. And then shock just sets in.
He's like, okay, what?
To grab his body, and Dina comes and rips her away. And on that cacophony of sounds, silence.
So, yeah. Some of them are not even phased.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Oh.
I mean, they can't question him. It's his baby. So.
I like the one guy. That's me in a poker game.
But that also sums up so many players' feelings towards it, right?
Sequel.
Oh, this is them addressing
This is a big, Is this their? I've never even looked up what their studio looks like or how big. Oh. There's the Uncharted too. All right. Awesome place to work, I see. Creative flow process.
I would so crash.
I've been working on this game since we finished. Well, really been thinking about it since we finished The Last of Us. So many people were like, Last of Us 1 is so perfect. It should never have a sequel.
It was damn good.
They shouldn't make a sequel.
They're like, oh, it wrapped up super great. But I think actually, if you look at the ending...
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
Ellie is accepting a lie.
I swear.
I swear.
That is how...
Okay. She has a very good bullshit detector.
Oh.
She knows something doesn't feel right. But I think is too scared at that point to ask.
How long can you really live with accepting a lie like that?
Especially if you know it's not true.
Yeah.
The Last of Us feels like an origin story for this survivor in this post-apocalyptic world.
I remember when I saw
that. How Ellie has become such a strong, unique character. It really felt like, if we were to do a sequel,
oh, I love the DLC was
shame for it
amazing.
not to focus on her.
Move the fuck out of the way.
I'm gonna tell you, she learned how to use a gun real quick.
Yeah, once we're done with this whole thing, I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar.
Oh.
I reckon you'd really like that. What do you say, huh?
Joel, he's gonna teach Ellie to play guitar. That always felt like that's just this unanswered promise that was kind of lingering at the end of the
entire reason
game.
for a sequel is the guitar.
Is the guitar?
It's gotta happen.
Where we had the actors come on stage and reenact certain
Whoa,
scenes.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, there is.
Say we get you to the Fireflies. What happens next?
Oh my gosh.
Marlene, she said that they have their own little quarantine zone and that doctors are still trying to find a cure.
She's such a good voice.
I wrote this new scene that takes place after the ending of The Last of Us, but it was only shown to people in the audience. Like, we cut off the stream right before we showed them the scene.
If I ever were to lose you,
this wrecked me,
I'd surely lose myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed.
They made the room and everything.
To make this man of me.
Damn it. Did you get tissues?
Oh, I have tissues if you need them.
It's the music.
Days of you and me.
Oh, and you can play the guitar too. Did you ever learn this? Because you play the guitar a little bit.
You know what? This is actually quite complicated what he's doing, so no. I can do chords,
I don't know the first thing about this.
Hey,
that would be oof.
Gosh.
I promised you I'd teach you how
Crazy
to
the
play.
emotional response
That
for music.
scene ends with Ellie holding the guitar and playing.
I think Joel really gets you though in general.
Joel in general, yeah, because you guys know I talk about it all the time, but I love my relationship with my father, and it
in
just
my mind
hits on that.
And I'm sure that kind of trickled into this idea of this trailer.
Oh, and her
so started working
tattoo.
on some concept art, kept fleshing out the story, and as it felt like it was kind of gaining momentum, Uncharted 4 needed all hands on deck.
I did not know that.
It's so weird that you were.
I was playing Uncharted.
You were playing Uncharted 4 when I found you. And that's such
and then
a funny
that's what they were working on.
Moment.
That's crazy.
Naughty Dog had always made one game, and as soon as it finishes one game, it works on another. When I started on Uncharted 3, we were starting to experiment then with trying to do 2 teams. After we finished Uncharted 3, I jumped onto Uncharted 4. At some point in time, Uncharted 4 was coming down to the wire, and
must be so busy.
it's just we had to shift resources, and pretty much everyone just ended up on Uncharted, trying to finish it up.
Definitely shows up darker.
So I said, okay, before I come on in full force on Uncharted 4, I just want to capture this trailer.
Yeah.
So she learned it.
Through the valley.
She's not actually moving her hands though, so.
Oh.
So I think it'd be too complicated to pick up.
Oh, I see what you're. Yeah, that's why they're showing that. So it just kind of. Okay.
No evil, 'cause I'm blind.
But it is her voice.
Yeah.
Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right. 'Cause I'm wrong.
Oh.
During the entire production of Uncharted 4, that's all I could think about. I had a lot of investment in Uncharted 4, but the day we were done with Uncharted 4, went right back to that trailer to wrap
She's
it
a
up.
little softy underneath all that airy shell.
Anything for
you may not see it at first glance.
But it did.
Not animation.
I just love you.
This was the reveal trailer, right? They play.
This one feels kind of strong to
She
me.
just sings and Joel comes in.
Wow, like even looking at the micro, like.
Actually, my biggest fear with this announcement is that it leaks early.
Yeah, this is
more
the
than anything, I have nightmares about this trailer leaking early before we get to PSX.
That was PAX South, right? I think that's PAX South.
So that was the first time that they said it.
So I don't know. I was at
Did
PAX.
you ever watch that?
I was at PAX East, and this was, I think, right. Okay, PlayStation Experience. No, different.
PSX.
But
we should try and go to this. This
is
so fun.
Well, this is so
PSX,
cool. Did they still do this?
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Hasn't set itself
Are you sure they still do it?
I don't know.
As a place where big titles get revealed. That's E3.
But E3 doesn't exist anymore, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. But it did go to PAX East, but then they pulled out because of COVID.
Lost Legacy.
That's Lost Legacy, yeah.
Yeah, revealing the Uncharted single-player content at the opening of the show.
You're late. I thought you were professional. Oh, you should relax.
Was so spicy.
She's one of my Claudia Black is in my top 2 favorite voice actresses. Absolutely love her so much.
No one's gonna expect a second Naughty Dog title to be
that's
revealed
so
in the
true.
same
Nobody would expect
that.
that.
So it's a double whammy.
Wow. Okay, wait. This would have been so exciting.
Special unveil we have for you tonight. Please enjoy it.
Oh my! Look at him. He's so
when
happy.
we first revealed The Last of Us, the Naughty Dog logo came up, and the crowd erupted, and it was such a high that's almost been like chasing the dragon, like wanting to recapture that feeling.
Oh my God. Why does this look like The Last of Us, dude?
That's bananas.
The Firefly symbol.
Think about all the people around the world
people are
seeing
literally
this.
like screaming.
A similar feel.
Oh, it's cool seeing all the creators' reactions too.
Yeah, and the part that I guess people like us play and like in that.
Oh. This is because as a voice as a voice actor, that's got to be one of the hardest parts. Is you hold this secret. You hold this because you're under NDA and everything, but you can be gone for years before anything ever comes out. So it's
all the time. I have footage on my phone that I'm like asking and waiting for studios to let me post from over a year ago.
Like years ago.
It must. So when you finally get to be like, oh, this is happening, and partake in that with everybody that gets to consume it, it's such a beautiful moment.
That's so cool.
For sure.
Oh, that's gotta be so unreal for them.
Yeah. Then did you ever watch this? And she goes, "I'm gonna get every last one of them."
Yes.
And then
Yes.
People outside the studio have such an attachment to the first game, and I've definitely seen fears about not wanting to make a sequel because somehow if it's bad, it will tarnish your feeling about the first game.
I'm gonna find. And I'm gonna kill.
Oh, and I'm gonna kill. Not just find.
That's true.
Every last.
It's giving taken. It will find you.
We're doubling down on those fears and not calling it The Last of Us some subtitle. It's The Last of Us Part 2 to say it's all one story.
Oh, I just got chills.
And so anytime you hear that strumming, I know you're just like...
But him saying it's all part of one story.
Yeah, it's one story being told. Oh my gosh. What an incredible moment that was.
Oh, the whole...
I know.
And that's Claudia Black. That's her from Lost Legacy at the top.
Oh.
Yeah.
The story where it's
She's in Mass Effect. She's in...
Yeah, I'm not... some of y'all are so good at like calling out exactly the voice actors. I'm not like that.
Have enough weight that felt like, okay, this is an experience worth creating, worth spending the next 3 years on. I became really
the joke book
intrigued with the idea of the cycle of violence and how like certain events would trigger acts of violence that then would beget more acts of violence. It's almost never satisfying. It never brings the person you love back. And despite you thinking it's going to bring some closure, it doesn't. We just need more empathy. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could create an experience that lets you safely explore those feelings?
Wow.
Okay, real quick.
Wowza.
What was... Because now we're seeing her, right? We're seeing Abby. What... Did you know the story was going to take you that direction?
Not at all.
Okay, what was your original feeling when you... Because she more recently played this. For me, it's been a year since I played it, just about.
Ben.
For her. Ben.
Sorry, it was Ben. She was Bean. It's so cute. I think I had probably the same response as everybody when we get to this point, because even if you do have tons of empathy, even if you are an empathetic player, even if you are intending to play it from start to finish, you still go, hang on a second, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that when you switch to that character. But obviously I paused.
Did you accept it pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this is what they want to tell me, so let's just see it through. I know a lot of people that completely put the controller down and quit at that exact moment, and I think they missed out on so much with what it tells you after that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think there was a moment where I felt like it was kind of going that direction. I want to say that, like, if you had watched mine, you know, me watching the trailer, definitely I held on to moments that I saw in the trailer and thought it became reality.
Oh, yeah, the trailer was a little cheeky.
It was cheeky.
It was cheeky.
And I'm one of these, and she will attest to this. It's like once I cling to something, it's like I stay there, and I'm like, So I think there was a part in the trailer that just had me thinking, okay, this is kind of the direction that it's going to go. But I think I accepted it pretty quickly. It's really hard because if you have seen it, you know, I bawled like a baby because I think when you see that moment, he feels like your dad. And despite the lying and him, we've talked about this a lot, like our feelings with Joel, it goes down to us seeing him as taking away her choice. Like, gosh, the decision at the end of part 1 and how complex that is how it leads to his story. But I think for me, I was able to very quickly put myself in Abby's place and be like, she's just a daughter of another father who was taken.
There's so much mirroring. So I think when people have a lot of empathy for the Joel Ellie half of the story and none for this half, it doesn't quite make sense to me because of how similar those things actually are, and how similar Ellie and Abby actually are as human beings, and how much they have gone through that is actually similar. So.
And you don't see like her, like, you know, you don't see it as in depth of her growing up and her relationship with her father. And so I think it's harder to place yourself in that. And I think just for us, I think it maybe wasn't so difficult because you're the type of person that, like, you try to see as many perspectives as possible.
Yes, people find that often very annoying about me, but
we both do. We're like, so okay, I can see where they're going with this. Like, I want to see this through. I think
there's so much gray area to life that I think I try and always look at it. I'm not like a particularly like super black and white person about everything. I want to see the matter in between.
You wanna, like, get a shovel and like dig up like why is this person like this.
So I guess that's why I like a game like this so much, because this game is gray area. This whole game is gray area.
And new perspectives and you know, sometimes we like to be in our comfort zone and we don't want to always be pulled out of that. And I think everybody's relationship with video games is different, like what you want in your game, and that's okay. For us, I think we're always trying to like, okay, what are we seeing? Like, let's take this one character and let's dive deep and like look at it.
Unpicking it. Like, we just saw a play on the West End together last night called People, Places and Things. If anyone lives in London, you should go see it.
It's amazing.
It's my favorite play ever, and I wanted to take you, and we were just like unpacking it afterwards, because I just think things are not just so. There's so much more than just the surface for everything, and I think that's something that we find about every aspect of life and what we talk about all the time. But this game is layers after layers after layers after layers after layers. And if you just look at it for the first layer, it's going to, of course, be really angry inducing and frustrating and hurtful. But, you know, if you look at the other 5 underneath, there's something to be gotten out of it.
Yeah,
I think
so many meanings. Okay. Thank you. Okay. No. I'm just like, no, that was good. I just love her as a character. So seeing her, I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay.
With that theme, all of a sudden everything fell into place and this outline emerged. The whole catalyst for what starts the second game
storyboard, the numbers.
Joel killing the doctor.
Yep. Did you hesitate? Or did you just go in like...
back in that idea of that cycle of
violence. I wish I had my first ever experience of it recorded, because I can't remember.
Sequence of events.
Yeah, you don't. You have to go back and do a replay through
We're going to start the game where you're playing a new character. That sequence ends with this character killing Joel.
You did really
and
good.
We really have to paint
I did.
her
Sorry,
as
yes. I mean, my first ever experience when I was.
Then when you play the next chunk of the game and you're Ellie,
I love these early
art
concepts.
So cool.
And you're gonna go kill this entire crew. We're gonna go back in time and show you that same sequence of events. This character that you saw as a monster, to now get you to see things from her perspective.
Wow.
And how this crew is a bunch of people trying to survive in this world.
One of my favorite environments was
I'm obsessed with him.
It's cool to see different avenues of survival during this.
The story was becoming very epic and ambitious, and I had a few parts that I was kind of stuck on.
Speaking of the bottom,
and I felt like to kind of shake things up, I wanted to bring in another writer.
I thought it was a very thoughtful story about violence and obsession. He had Abby, sort of like this girl who was the daughter of the doctor. And that Ellie would go on this vengeance quest. And when he was like, and then Ellie actually kills Abby, I was like, what?
Yeah, that would have been heartbreaking if...
Oh. Yeah, let's fucking do it.
They were originally going to...
contributing in a lot of ways.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Interesting. Because I think if one of them had been killed, it would have... I don't know, just... It would have felt like nothing had changed. Like nothing was learned. Because I think it would have...
Yeah. Oh... I don't know what I felt about the ending. Actually, still leaves me feeling like hungry for something else. At the end of Last of Us 2, I wanted them to have. More importantly, I was begging in my head for them to have a conversation that never happened.
Yes.
I was just dying for them to talk, and they never get a chance to talk and actually go, "This is what you've done to me. This is what you've done to me." Oh, I didn't realize, or just something where they could have their wires that's like actually not crossing the whole time. But I think they didn't do that on purpose, because maybe it doesn't need to be said. Maybe all of that was obvious. I don't know. But killing one of them killing the other would have been a very different final feeling.
So different feeling. Yeah, I wonder if it would have hit the same way. I mean, honestly, probably not, because that last scene in the water is so...
when she goes, just take him, and...
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been... Well, because there's a lot of things that you can see early on that they changed around a little bit. And those small changes make... This is what I love to see. Like, all of these sticky notes. Like, as a writer, like, they're thinking... I tell her all the time, I'm like, to me, one of the coolest things is when you take a character and, you know... You see them across how many hours of a game, right? Like 40 plus hours of, well, what is this one? 30 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
But you take all that and they're somehow very fluid and feeling like very consistent across the entire narration and the whole story. Yeah. Like, how do you have their interactions with so many different personalities and people sound like them? Like, they flesh out the characters so well. Like, it's so well-rounded.
That's what good writing is making a character feel actually well-rounded and not. And I think that's when we don't like characters or we don't quite understand characters is because they're jumping around all over the place and they're like, why are you doing that? It's because last time you did that. And
which even looks pretty human too, though.
Yeah, but having some kind of through line in terms of energy and energy consistency, I guess. Is
especially like dialogue consistency.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like she's challenging what this story can be.
She's so small.
I know.
So she's the co-writer.
Wanted to add more romantic intimacy between the characters.
Knocking boots.
Those are areas that I've been, more uncomfortable writing that stuff.
He's like, wait a minute,
the first day, she was telling me that she went home and told her husband that I think I just got Ellie's girlfriend pregnant. Because that was her big idea the first day.
I think I just got Ellie's girlfriend pregnant.
Effect and actually added a lot to the story.
Wow, so they really had
Ellie
the concept
is a very
of what Dina
relatable character.
Looked like.
I thought she was a perfect vehicle to challenge this notion that violence doesn't have a cost, because it does have a cost in reality.
I loved their country.
It's going to ruin this girl.
That's amazing.
Yeah, her finger.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, people love Joel and Ellie, and we are about to kill one and make the other one a villain.
I was very nervous telling Troy we're going to kill off Joel. In the first game, he was advocating that Joel should die.
Wow.
Whoa.
When I read the ending to part 1, I was like, you're going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Marlene is the closest thing to a parent that Ellie has had outside of Joel.
Just come after her.
A lot of people got hurt, and Marlene would be one of those people.
So, I know, we're trying to say, like, we're not going to stop so much for our time, but we've talked about this, but that, do you feel like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that he had placed his emotional feelings of his first daughter, like his daughter, into Ellie.
Yes. Well, I was, I guess, playing with this idea in my head. I'm like, how much of what he feels for her is this very organic new bond that he has with this person in this post-apocalyptic universe? Yeah, of course they love each other. Of course they bonded with each other. But also how much of that is mixed in with projection, the fact that he's lost his actual daughter and she also has no one. So I think a lot of what they're doing is at the same time is filling gaps that they both don't have. which I'm not saying discredits anything that they experience together, but I think what he's also doing here in the selfishness of a lot of what he does is he's going, no, I'm not going to lose another daughter because I've decided this is my next one.
Yeah.
When she isn't. And also she also, in this particular part of the story, she carries a greater, bigger story value to the world, not just his world. And so, it's really hard to work out, I guess, how much of his love for her is a projection and how much of it is Ellie herself.
And that nurturing feeling, like, I think there's this maybe natural nurturing feeling he got after having that first daughter. And then, like, how much did he place in her that this is now going to be my new daughter and I will do whatever it takes, because he was so helpless. Like, when the first one that happens, right, like, he is helpless in a way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, neither of us would blame him for anything. It's almost like there's no. I think whenever
human
people talk about Joel's actions being selfish, or maybe the fact that he was in the wrong, people are so defensive of him as a character, as if I'm saying that he should have done.
He's a bad person.
Yeah, so that it doesn't make sense that he did what he did. I totally get why.
It's very human to project onto other people.
Yeah,
period.
Absolutely, like, especially in this environment.
I mean, even like I have this very idyllic image of him because of my own relationship, like my own biases and my own feelings and thoughts in my life. And that's something when you're playing a game, you always bring in your own experiences and your relationships with people in your life and what you've gone through.
It's so human.
Yeah.
It's so human.
But I think that's what makes his character and the story, like we talk about those like sub layers, but that's another element to it. It's not about he's a bad person or not. He's a complex person. He's a human person, and that was captured in a game.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
Joel has crossed these moral lines.
Those are my favorite.
He's more complicated than people think. People focus on the complexity of Abby.
You'll take it pretty easy.
Joel's also just as complicated.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, Abby's so hard to work out. She's or Ellie's complicated, but Joel is also super complicated. So.
Theirs is like another. When they show up, we'll do. I know. I love this. I love this.
He goes, so Joel dies, and. He's like, so this happens, and then and I literally had to stop. I was like, can you give me just a second? Because it literally was as if someone was telling me about how my friend had just died.
Yeah.
I think he kind of took it hard. It was like the character meant so much to him.
Carhartt looking jacket.
Oh, you love the Carhartt.
I love the Carhartt. The flannel.
When she smells his jacket,
when he killed this character, his role is going to be much smaller on this one.
All of a sudden, it was, please don't take this from me yet.
Ellie is scared to be alone. Everybody that she's loved up until that point, she's lost them.
It's hard to imagine the story without Joel dying. Like, you feel that hate, Ellie feels that hate.
Yeah. And they needed to give that to you. They needed to give you a reason to
informs the rest
not want to step into Abby's.
And something that you say a lot is that you think it's very brave when a game kills off a well-loved character.
I do. I say they often become my favorite game if a
because they got the guts to do it.
Yes, it takes guts to not do what your audience wants to do. And I talk about this a lot, but like, you're going to get love or hate no matter what you do. So you might as well be you or tell the story you want to tell.
You're not gonna no one's going to love everything you make.
No. So do it to like what represents your interests or what you want to do the most. Yeah.
I'm just looking at these interesting PlayStation headphones. What is going on here?
Oh,
very. They're chunky.
It's a little chunky.
Very chunky.
Start looking at the products.
I know. I'm like, ooh, product placement.
Oh, environment and atmosphere for me. I've never been so excited by all the tool chests I've seen.
The crafting benches look so real, and there's the upgrading a gun.
We get you through interactivity to really connect and empathize with this character.
You look like you heard with yourself.
And then make you feel like I've led Joel to a trap.
Yeah, the feeling when you just know you've led him to something. Even
don't fear change.
You don't know yourself that you're leading him to that, but you.
That's such a beautiful way to
started out making
summarize that
part
feeling.
2, Neil actually wanted to be very ambitious about changing the game almost entirely. That's weird. In the first like 4 or 5 months, the game was actually kind of an open world, inspired by Bloodborne.
What?
What? Sorry,
I'm sorry. Wait,
what? Okay, Bloodborne being your favorite Souls game, correct?
One of them.
One of your favorite Souls games.
I like them all, but.
And
what the only one of the only Souls games you've tried, Because she tried it, so we had done. What was the game that I had to play? So she wanted me to play Cyberpunk. Yeah, and she was like, "Well, I'll play Bloodborne if you play Cyberpunk."
Yeah, I was like, Cyberpunk is very me and Bloodborne's very you, so we decided to do a little switch. I mean, you played the entire of Cyberpunk.
Oh, I did not think I was gonna like it, and then I put almost 200
hours. 5 hours of Bloodborne, and that was enough for me. But
that's just I would have expected that.
Wait, open world inspired by Bloodborne? Is he talking about theme, or is he talking about bosses, or is he talking about gameplay, melee?
Well, I think.
Okay, let's replay.
Let's find out. I think it's like the layout of how it feels. Maybe like it's like this environment because he's talking about when
and
you're going
purely melee focus, like it's all hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
What? This was the original idea.
Oh.
It wasn't just a melee combat. We were also looking at sort of layout structure.
Whoa!
Sort of an open space.
Where they can fly. That is so fascinating. I would not have expected that at all.
I really like that feeling that you get of mastery over the world. It starts to become kind of almost a character in the game itself.
Oh my gosh, look at Spider.
Orphan, where are you? Poor Jess.
So I
know. Poor Jess tackling that boss right now.
That's crazy.
We started out making it as different as humanly possible from the first game as we could.
Why?
And then kind of dialing it back. The open world thing didn't work with the story that we were trying to tell.
Yeah. I always saw it as a linear story.
So in pre-production, we spent a lot of time just doing setups.
Now this is so cool for me to see.
Self-contained sort of units that tried to expound on a single sort of idea.
What is it? It won't take long to burn.
Trying to start out with sort of simple shapes and building up.
I love this. I love this language.
And starting out with one or two mechanics and building up to those mechanics.
This is incredible to say.
Even our experiments, we try to add like as much context as we can. Like we establish a goal that you're going to be going for. We establish beats so that there's like an emotional journey. The stakes are raised.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
Figuring out some traversal stuff. A lot of climbing and balance beams and
the bit in the
seeing how far we can sort of push in that direction without it getting over the top like Uncharted.
It gave me vertigo.
More use of grass and stealth.
Burn the grass.
It won't take long to burn.
I'm gonna.
My name is Arnaldo Licea. And what do you do here? I do design.
I know. How long have you been doing that?
A day. I got an opportunity to work in QA, and that was a great learning experience. I shipped The Last of Us and Uncharted 4.
The thing I'm proudest of is the people who came in to a quality assurance job as a contractor, which is entry-level work. And
I did contracting as QA, not for games, but
used that job to get to where they ultimately wanted to be.
When I interviewed for the QA position, I specifically said that my goal was to be a designer.
He had formed this relationship with design where they knew they could rely on him, spending his free time designing a demo, and at the same time, him going to them and not being like, here's 50 bugs you need to fix. He went to them and was like, what do you need?
That's
How do I help you? What kind of bugs do you need? And for their part, they embraced him and were like, why don't we show you how to lay out nav mesh?
He just wanted to soak up all the information he could learn.
Respect that so much.
Prove myself. There is no babying when you start. It just hits the ground running. If I don't cut it, I go back to QA or find something else. Figure out at the moment how we handle big spaces, bigger than the first game.
The knitted.
The enemies are so like too spread out to be considered like one single small.
Oh my gosh, headless horse.
And seeing what behaviors we need to start developing for them to make it look good.
That's true. Could have ended right there. Could have ended it.
The opening of Seattle, that whole section was pretty slow and quite linear in the level design.
Wait, design review.
Let's assume that there's guys in
this building. I think
they'd
probably pitch it to the
team
on this is what, you know, because I'd imagine like you would rather get everybody in a room and be like, all right, this is the direction that we're kind of taking. And just kind of letting everybody know, like, okay, this is where I need you to do this. Because then from there you meet with each person and you say what you need, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Just want to all be on the same page.
Yeah. What do you want to share?
No.
You sure?
I'm good.
She's a liar.
I'm just very erect.
That's also on camera. I'm recording that.
So okay, if I'm on the horse and I'm getting shot at, I can't take cover with the horse. I'm probably first.
Mother Dina is just like
jump off.
She's just happy to be there. Like,
the horse doesn't
look at those boots, baby.
Like, once I jump off, I'm gonna want to take cover behind something. It's like, okay, I'm taking cover. Now what the fuck do I do with this horse? I assume the enemies are gonna shoot at it. If they don't, that's kind of weird. Does Dina ride off with the horse?
That's true, yeah. They would try and shoot the horse.
Well, that sucks because I'm trying to build a relationship with Dina, and if my partner leaves me, that makes me like her less. I'm like, okay, so Dina has to get off the horse and take cover with me and help me engage with the enemies. Okay, but
there are also micro things you don't think about.
Yeah.
Does it ride off on its own in order to like protect itself and then come back after? That feels too intelligent for a horse. That seems a little funny. As soon as there's range combat, the horse.
I like how they want realism though. Like they want the realism of the horse.
These are valid questions.
How do I approach this building? Imagine this is more dense with cars and ferns and interesting ways for me to close this distance. Maybe when I get close enough, 2 militia guys come out. I have this little firefight.
Oh, the sound
with
of
this
the
front
gun.
Before I could rush forward and go into this building, climb up, and take out the
sharpshooter
that was harassing me.
So that's a way of them going through
really
walls
simple,
and doors.
Small fight. Now there's tension. Guys can come from anywhere, like from this rooftop, from these windows.
Dogs.
And that really inspired us to take some pretty drastic changes as far as the flow, inserting more combat, opening up the layout.
Oh,
to
this
give
is
the
so cool. Where is
cute beat? I wonder if that's the bit where they go into the music store.
Cute beat. Puke, first mention of stadium.
Puke? Look at the little drawing of the horse.
Where is Matt?
Look at the horse drawing.
Look at the drawing, you're right.
Look at that little doji.
These are what I love to see, so I'm like...
City. You can imagine this as being kind of the hub with it
poking
into streets,
okay.
and I could go into the streets and explore and find those locations where we're kind of calling dungeons.
I did explore a lot.
So that's the plan. Some of these changes are big, but it got us.
The open world sequence is actually my least favorite part of the whole game. I don't know why. I think it's because it's so linear. But all the first game and all the second game is so linear, except that one bit where I'm having to like just gallop around.
Yeah.
I should have liked it more, and I wanted to like it more, but I actually found it a bit jarring. But
I think because it was just a change of pace. Like it's different from what you're used to.
It slowed it down a lot.
But you have to embrace the change.
Okay. Don't fear change.
Do not fear. What is not something?
This feels like a true evolution of T1 as far as.
But I like that they wanted to
and giving you
and do
options.
something different.
If there's concern, it's about scale, it's about scope, it's about can we actually build this thing.
The scope is always bigger than the last game. It always has been. It always will be, probably. But this scope on this game is something pretty extraordinary.
Everyone seems to agree that the thing we're building is going to be cool. Once it's done, it's just that it's such a big game.
Oh gosh.
Our games have.
And like, I know I keep pausing, but I mean, I think for you getting to be on the backside of some of these things, one point that I often try to bring up, and like a lot of times on my playthroughs, I'll try to go through the whole credits because I think it's so often that we take for granted all of the people.
How many people have
the hours?
Absolutely.
The time, and when you play 30 hours, that doesn't even scratch the surface of what one person has probably put into the story, right? So
I've done a lot of voices and mocap on a game called Star Citizen, and I went to their offices in Manchester, and it was just floors and floors and floors and floors of people exactly like this, all with a PC, all working on details that the details that we walk past in a game and don't even think twice about it.
Horse mechanic.
Yeah, like just it's mental how much work goes into something like this, and it's so easy to write something off as this game's rubbish, or they did this wrong or whatever. But I just think there's so much more to it than that.
It's so easy to critique.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so easy
I think playing games with empathy and playing games with more, what's the word?
Awareness, maybe?
Yeah. What's the word? Just room for...
respect, awareness.
When you have room for grace. Maybe grace is
grace.
The word.
I like that,
I think maybe grace.
Yeah.
Playing games with more grace, I think is...
Because it's all humans behind it. Like, it's
worth practicing.
Worth practicing.
And I say that from someone that also was like, oh, this is rubbish. And then I worked on games as an actor, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a whole new
wow, this isn't what I'm used to. But okay.
definitely because I've played games my whole life since I was like maybe 12, 13, and then being an actor after that, going from player to actor, then being back to player all the time is now I've got such a different
outlook on it.
Yeah, perspective on everything.
Yeah.
Become more and more ambitious, and the studio has gotten a lot bigger.
When I started, 40 people.
Wow.
Now we're over 300. You can't handle that many people with a flat hierarchy. As we grew, we've had to introduce new titles
it's
just
cool seeing the management aspect of it too.
Control management,
you
control
know
communication,
You're like,
yes, right. Cracks.
Planning.
We have no producers
The
at
stool,
Naughty Dog.
I have to like hold on.
So
Sorry,
many
no, you're
people
fine.
here that you can rely
I just gotta
on,
hug you.
lean on.
We don't have a lot of
Makes
space
the
back
game
here.
Better. And that's really kind of the secret sauce of Naughty Dog is how collaborative it is.
I love sauce.
You find the right people who really want to do the best they can possibly do, and then you kind of give them the resources to try.
Wow.
You're getting what you asked for as a creative person, right? You're kind of getting the freedom to go as far as you can go, but sometimes I think we need to be saved from ourselves.
With The Last of Us 2, there's a real sense of opportunity. This is going to be a much cleaner production than we've done in the past. We're going to get it right this time. This is the first project that has had the proper pre-production period where we have locked down, for the most part, the story beginning, middle, and end before we start production. That hasn't happened. I don't know if that has ever happened.
I love the grays in the beard.
It's a very, very messy process, which is, again, why
like
it's a lot of times really difficult to schedule. I think right now we are planning on springtime of 2018. So when springtime 2018 comes around, The Last of Us 2 isn't in stores, you can look back at this and say, well, I guess their plan wasn't exactly set in stone.
Oh.
Oh, God.
External pressure.
So
okay,
much.
So we
Yowza.
talk about this a lot too because we're just as excited about things coming out all the time.
Yeah.
We get excited.
Fable.
And you get it. You get. Thank you.
Sorry, that was in your eyelashes.
No, get it. Bobby. Fable. Most of our friendship is actually just like singing to each other in some kind of random inside joke or just riffs.
Yes, it is a lot of singing.
I feel like it's so easy to, from a consumer base or standpoint, to be like, man, they keep kicking this down the road, or they rushed this or whatever it is. But you have no idea the internal and external pressures, but also they have, I'm assuming, shareholders and investors and deadlines and that falls down to everybody underneath. It falls down to
yes, you can have this money if it's done by this point, or yes, I can work on it for this amount of time, but I've got to jump onto another project by this time, so I'm not gonna be able to, you're losing team members, gaining things, losing things all the time. So
and the job market and everything else that kind of flows into it. So I'm really interested to see this because it's a topic I find so fascinating.
The external stuff.
I think just seeing the pressures, because I think it's not often something that comes to the forefront when you're feeling emotionally attached to a game, and it gets kicked down the road.
We don't hear it much from publishers. We don't hear it much from how the game's going. This is actually hard for us. We don't actually hear that much from them either.
Yeah, or they could have setbacks, and then you also have teams where people go on vacation, where people, you have to take account of 300 people.
300.
I mean, you'd have to have super committed people that are just there and they believe in the project. You have to have people that truly believe. And I have such a heart for, I think, developers, because I think they have pressure from everyone, from anybody who invests in it, all the people below them, all of the fan base.
And themselves.
And,
Historically,
I love all this background. This is I've always talked about wanting to see this. I tell you all the time. I'm
without the pressure of an external deadline.
Every time we
as soon as you announce
some
something,
showing of our games, if it's going to be seen publicly,
once
it's got to be one of the best looking playing things in the industry. For example, the first trailer was coming online, and that forced us to define the look of our games.
Yes, because you have to set the graphic standard.
Define Ellie's
get people
look
excited.
And her age and her hair and her outfit. We're forced to make those choices. We can't just keep iterating because there's a deadline.
We want to try and schedule the game using these milestones as soon as possible.
Which means we got to keep the marketing rolling, which means next E3, 6 months away, we need to look at a gameplay demo.
E3, it's always been the biggest and most extravagant showing of the game industry.
There's something special.
When did it go?
The energy of E3?
I don't know. It
We
hasn't
need
been
to
around
figure
for the
out
last
the
2
gameplay
years,
is,
right?
because right now
Maybe,
it's just we've got a bunch of like cool prototypes and stuff like that, so it's scary.
2 or 3 years.
But we work well under pressure.
We're hoping to be really aggressive and show at E3 2017 just to really kick the project into gear as fast as humanly possible.
We want to break it up into a roughly 2-minute cinematic, a flashback sequence that will set kind of emotional context for what will then go into a 5-minute gameplay sequence. We want to do this festival within Jackson. Like there'll be like a live band, and we're just seeing people lively having
the
fun.
Bond dance.
For the crowd, are you thinking 30 plus people?
Jackson?
Frank says we could do with 30 variations.
Oh.
I think we can make that work with 30.
Yeah.
Dina pulls Ellie onto the dance floor. Ellie's dancing with her, is making all these guys jealous, and then Dina says, "You want to make them really jealous?"
Ooh.
And she leans over and kisses
Saucy,
her. And on that, we do a hard cut to Ellie in the middle of the woods.
Oh, okay.
So the idea is we shouldn't see any buildings, just woods.
Sword.
Water,
That was back when they might have been
water
doing more
rushing
melee.
underneath her.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you do have machetes
What about,
and stuff.
rain? Are we still doing rain?
I haven't discussed it with the other guys, but
That demo that we show externally for the very first time is setting the bar for the rest of development. But the problem is we're also working on Uncharted 4 Lost Legacy.
So E3 is June 13th, which means probably we want to be done,
Yeah, I didn't think about the pressure of the other games.
Which is
Yeah.
4.5
On
months.
the same
Time management.
With Lost Legacy shipping at around the same time of E3, there are shared resources between the two projects.
Especially sound and particle effects, so they were all on Uncharted.
Sound and particle effects being two things that like you're not even thinking of as much.
Right,
Maybe
right.
we were so struggling because we didn't have sound and particle effects.
Oh no! Are we gonna do rain?
It's
Are we not
mad.
gonna do rain?
That can be your job. You know, your job is particle effects at Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Amazing.
When we come to the polish phase, both we're polishing this and that at the same, and SPDLC at the same time. I don't know if there's any specific item that needs to be worked on, but I think there's going to be programmer time doing both those things. And
do you know where the headquarters is? Did it say?
This needs polishing in E3 and this needs
No.
polishing in SPDLC.
I don't know. In America?
Like we're gonna have to compromise.
Definitely, I would assume.
California,
We kind
maybe?
of just didn't have it at the forefront of our minds that they're freaking shipping a video game. It's literally the hardest part of making the game is shipping it. And we were trying to ship a demo, the second hardest thing you can do, at the same time and sharing a lot of their resources.
So one thing would be helpful.
I know. I was just thinking about this cat.
Is that Courage the Cowardly Dog? It's giving Courage.
Look at that fat square catfish thingy at the top left.
Did you say catfish?
It just got like a
Like a
tail coming
catfish.
at the top. It looks like a little tail. Is it?
Only we would be like, look at the doodles in the building. Look at the doodles.
No thinks about the rat.
Look at the exposed piping. Ah, yes, beautiful.
Was to find
Interior
out what are the
design.
items that you feel like
Oh,
most worried about.
yeah,
Like, let's
I
say
hope
rain.
they talk
We can
about
do
that,
this thing
yeah.
without rain. So if that helps you a ton, we can make the decision not to remove rain.
Flexibility. We'd love to see it.
How about wet hair?
Bowl of candy in the middle. Left.
Oh, so it'd be hard for him to have rain in the demo.
Puts on a cap.
I got like a really clear energy of the meeting, which was how do we shrink it? It was such an impossible task. You can't help but start feeling some doubt, some anxiety about the leadership, not understanding the logic of it. You know, I think like anybody else here, I was definitely ready to roll up my sleeves and figure it out.
Alright guys,
2017. Where were you in 2017? That's crazy. I guess I should ask 2016 because that's when it all started.
It was my first year out of drama school, and I think at that point I was filming
Viking
film, yeah.
Oh, Viking Destiny. Check it out.
Viking Destiny.
Oh gosh.
Don't check it out too hard. It was we didn't have a lot of money for that film, but it was a great
It
experience.
was so good, and you got to do. Oh, she has a badass moment.
Yeah, I was in Northern Ireland with a sword, hacking and slashing. What were you doing in
Hacking and slashing.
2017?
I was in my military training, not basic training, but my like follow-on training.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was in Texas, baby.
Texas, baby.
Tejo.
Oh my gosh.
Where supposed to have this done by now, guys.
I
knew. I like how they're really trying to show to people like everything that went behind it.
You know you make me wanna.
I'm so sorry. Does it look weird for me to be like leaned over like this? Because it's just like I'm. I look so much tanner than you. Like it's
because you are.
When the sun goes down,
baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
Wait, we actually sync up because we're in person.
Exactly. It's not like a Discord call where you have a 1 minute delay and we sound off.
And it's horrible.
Okay, well that was what we were doing in 2017.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a musical interlude in the middle.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
So after last yesterday's meeting, there were a lot of side conversations, and there was sort of a sentiment about how much work there was.
They're just talking about the demo.
To ship Lost Legacy, and it matched up with feelings that we were having. So we started discussing the responsibility of actually attempting this, and started to feel that it was a little bit irresponsible. That if we were to try to meet both these deadlines, we could probably do it, but we would end up doing a lesser job on both projects, both deadlines, than we would if we were doing them individually.
Quick question, and this could be for y'all or for you, but
y'all
working in the gaming industry, it wouldn't be like a 9 to 5, I'd imagine. Like, I would imagine if a project's coming up, do you just work overtime? Are you paid by hour? Are you just or are you overworked, underpaid? Probably.
Well, I guess if you love what you were doing and you could carry on working on it, and they need your help,
you would
at
do
the
it.
Expense of overtime. I feel like I would. I mean, we both would. But yeah, but that's a good point. Whether it's salary or overtime is included.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you saying like we could possibly do it, but at what cost? Are you burning out your people and your like crew? Then it's not.
Or is that just not enough hours in the day? Literally.
Yeah, and it could. Yeah, exactly. But if you guys know, let us know,
please.
And feels like they're both important enough to give them the due attention. So the conclusion that definitely is there is that the demo that was discussed yesterday will not be presented at E3.
It's probably a good call though. Disappointing for them.
Does it mean that our main point should be just focusing on more shipping before?
The Lost Legacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, we should still try to. We don't, like I said, just want to just completely halt work on this, and all hands on deck on Lost Legacy.
The idea is still to finish the demo, just to give us a buffer, so that these two deadlines aren't overlapping. Okay. It's just now we have more time to work on this demo properly without the pressure.
Once that meeting happened, it was just like, right, of course. I'm not in the Twilight Zone. It makes sense not to do this. It felt really nice seeing the leadership kind of having the team's back.
Yeah, that's nice.
And seeing the logic of the situation.
It was a good team call, I think.
That's it.
I also wonder if people would have been expecting to see a demo at E3 for Last of Us 2.
I remember the demo.
Pissed off? No.
Disappointed?
What am I? I guess in one sense it's relieved because there was concern of whether we could hit the quality that we know we need to hit for both Lost Legacies and for what was going to be our E3 demo. And then on the other hand, it's kind of disappointed because I was excited to get this demo done and get it out there and get the reaction, but now it's going to have to happen at some other point.
So much delayed gratification.
What we've decided to do is deliver the demo at around the same
Test
time.
impatience,
but
working
that's
on a
going to be
game.
purely internal, and the demo won't be 100% shippable. Gameplay and design and animation are going to be locked in June. Then we back off, we finish Lost Legacy, and then resources free up to finish the particle effects, the lighting, and the sound. And then we ship just the glossiest, best-looking demo you've ever seen. We burn that to a disc at the beginning of January, and then we don't touch it again, and nobody sees it until E3. It's going to be really interesting to see if we can really, really commit to being done, 5 months, 6 months in advance of E3, and not be tempted to say it could be a little better, let's go back.
I wonder if they're always like, it could have been better.
And we really just need to have the...
I reckon if you're working on a game and a game comes out, you would look back on it at any time. I mean, I know I'm like, I feel like you must be like this too with just any element of work that we do. We look back and go, I could have done that. I just feel like I could have done one thing.
Something different.
I could have just tweaked it.
Could have talked a little less.
But once an entire game is, yeah, like...
Oh, that just pulled my hand up. Oh, no. Oh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But yeah, like having a game out and knowing that millions of people are playing it, and then what if you just saw one thing and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't put that on the door, and it's
even
just
like
too late.
Because we notice things like as creators, and especially if you have that attention to detail, you'll notice things that maybe didn't get picked up in QA, and it's not a mark on them. It's just there's so many things to see, and each person you absolutely will. I think the more you see something, often even like overlook something, or maybe your eyes are looking for a different like flaw or whatever you want to call it, like a bug or something, because you always get bugs. I think for the most part, like I've somehow had a knack for running into something random that happens.
Yeah, we're both bug testers.
We're bug detectors.
But I guess it's like having the time to get people to play because there are people that will go walk into each corner of the room and like interact with everything to make sure you're not getting stuck and like finding those bugs. But that also requires hiring and taking the time for that to happen and running more tests, and it's all factored into the process. Sorry, what is? I'm just looking at this massive
love
chin.
all the stuff. I know. Well, the Predator.
Yeah,
I was looking at all of this. It's so cool. Also, I did want to say, like, with all of this, like, we're not experts. We're really just kind of talking out of our... we're just trying to... all speculation. And a little bit of, like, maybe past experience. We were talking about that during a break. We were like, it's so cool because she's, like, the voice acting experience, and she's gotten to see some behind the scenes. And I have a little bit of this, like, production element before I did this full time.
Yeah.
There's, like, even though it's something totally different in a different industry, but... it's cool to see the overlap in some similar concepts and stuff. So. Yeah, but that's a good point.
Yeah,
the discipline not
I like
to do
the
that.
skull. I like the little chin.
But that then left us as like, okay, what's our next marketing beat? What are we going to show next from this game?
So now we have a new plan where we're going to release a cinematic around PSX time. I think we're going to do it at the Paris Game Show.
This seemed like a pretty intriguing scene to introduce Abby. That whole scene is going to be our next marketing beat. And then we're not going to say much about it, about how this fits into the game, where it fits into the game.
No context. I don't know this.
Well, we saw what the trailer turned into.
Abby evolved over time. And if you look at the concept art, like, the
wow,
character looked very different than where we ended up.
We've seen who's playing her in the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, gosh.
I don't remember at what point we decided to go with someone like really kind of muscular and broad, but I remember once the idea came up, it felt very
like
fresh.
Maggie, for example. Those
Once we sort of nailed down the body of Abby, we played around with different ideas of how we wanted to accentuate her arms or not.
And there's something interesting in Abby
I liked the beanie.
feeling a lot like Joel.
Oh,
I
did not know that.
Did you ever look at the guns and the gameplay of Abby was more of that than Joel? So that's like one of the things that...
No, I was not noticing that. Or maybe...
So the weapons that she has available, the gameplay style, the throwables, and how she moves is more Joel than Ellie is. So yeah, that's funny that they say that.
Yeah, I was noticing that Joel and Ellie... Well, Ellie always had something different than Abby. Like, there was a different element to them, but I didn't think it was...
I didn't know that. Someone commented on one of my videos and said, I don't know if you've noticed, but the weapon loadout for Abby is extremely similar to Joel's, and how so like he... Like, even just Ellie's got the knife and Joel has the punch.
Right.
And just stuff like in the melee combat, the takedowns, the clickers, how they handle all the enemies, it's more like Joel. And I didn't even realise that might have been a choice. The plot thickens. Thank you very much.
It's the nicest thing.
Oh my god.
Please excuse us. Scrooge is like...
Oh my god, Scrooge coming into this video is not something I was anticipating when we planned this.
In June.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Also the flannels though. This is giving Carhartt.
It
like
is. All your fave brands.
She's like, why do you like Joel so much? She gets
so when I got
you're like, it's the
outfits. Say it with your chest. Say what you think I have because I like Joel.
You want me to talk about this? No, I thought you had a crush on Joel.
Yeah, I think that's very valid.
And I'm saying that if anyone like old enough and representative enough of your father mixed in with a crush indicates some kind of thing.
And I told her that I think part of it is we are not spring chickens, like we are a little bit older, you know, and I think that it is perfectly normal at 27 to 30 to... Okay.
Anyway.
A cast. Neil was like joking around.
You're not 30, by the way. I am.
Yes,
He's like, you should probably beef up in order to play her. And I'm like, ha, yeah, it's mocap, whatever. And he goes, no, really, you should probably beef up to play her. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I should totally start.
Do you kind of want to match, like, your physique of a character you're playing? As if you're being the mocap?
I mean, for mocap, you don't have to, but I would definitely say for her movement, it's gonna make way more sense for how you move in that game physically for you to be closer to the body type than if you were a little noodle. You know?
Carport noodle.
Because how you would walk around and carry a weapon.
Yes, that's true.
Little arms. They're not that little, by the way. You've been beefing before I saw you last. Yeah, but like I think how you dress affects how you move, everything, all of that stuff.
That is true. Like being a little bit more muscular versus I could see it.
Deadlifting as much as possible. So I did, and I was training like crazy.
That's funny.
And then I got pregnant.
Oh!
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
We need to separate her from
Oh my
Abby.
god!
It shouldn't feel like I'm playing a reskinned Ellie. That Abby should, in many ways, look, behave, fight differently.
You're right. It was a total different feel, though.
Yeah.
You were so true.
Oh, the finishes on these.
So in gameplay, we've
you turned away. I looked. I'm like, oh.
Different upgrade trees.
Yeah.
It means we have to make
So
the
there you
investment of
go.
capturing a whole different
Love the
moveset
upgrade.
for Abby. We can't just remap Ellie's animation onto Abby.
I loved the bows. Like I'm an.
Abby has a fear of height. And there's
I
stuff
love
we
the
do
bow,
with the camera to make you feel
This,
vertigo.
was so well done. I know.
And that helps build empathy. It makes this character real.
We let you both live.
And you wasted it.
She's aesthetically a very intriguing and iconic and powerful character.
Abby, who are these kids?
Who are these kids?
They saved my life. Can you take a look at her?
Once she's killed Joel, what is Abby's motivation? What is she trying to achieve? Her redemption is really taking care of Yara and Lev, these two kids that are from a warring faction.
That is
true.
true.
You know, she has been taught to hate them. There is an inherent xenophobic reaction to them. It's about saying, can you come to love your enemy?
Even she was, so she was challenged. So Ellie was challenged with that, and then she was challenged with that.
Oh. My brain is just going
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
These are kids that grew up in a very different context as Ellie, and you know how they live their lives and experience the world is totally different.
And this, like, they got to play around with so many different settings because there would be, you got to think about it. I mean, it's beyond like Walking Dead or even like The Last of Us. It's like there would be so many different groups coming back together and communities that would come together during an event like this. Like the possibilities of what would be presented to you and what kind of factions you would have is way more than even we see, I would imagine.
I also think that by the time Abby meets Yara and Lev and bonds with them, she ends up becoming an outsider from her faction to look after these two who have been also exiled from their faction. Yeah. And I think there's a bond that they have from feeling like exiled and feeling different, and she's always felt and looked and been different to everybody else.
Ostracized,
yeah, totally. And I think the protectiveness that she ends up feeling over these two, she's like, you know what, I'm on the outside of everything too, and so are you guys. Let's like, you know, band together there.
And in a way, it could almost be compared to Joel feeling protective over Ellie. Yeah. Like her feeling protective of these two individuals, you know, a little bit different because you have the Joel and losing his daughter, but the mirroring, I mean. Thank you. Get your Scrooge out of your head.
Out of your present. I'm getting really attached to Lev. He's been
didn't
able to
we
keep
all?
his head up despite losing so much
cute.
himself in a world that is so harsh. We're taking too long.
Can't move any faster. It won't do your sister any good if we're both dead.
I really like his dynamic with Abby. Her having this like fucking brassy little sidekick who calls her on her shit in a way that nobody else
He
can.
He does.
What's going on between you and your friend Owen?
Oh my god, now?
It seemed really awkward. Just go.
It seemed really awkward.
Kids love to call like that.
Yeah. Orphaned in the way that a lot of people can't.
How long have you two been on the run for?
2 days.
The chevron needed to get
What the hell did you do?
The chevron was not it.
They want to kill a little boy because he shaved his head.
I am not trans, so it's a very delicate thing to tell a story of an experience that I've not had. And that's something that we want to take seriously.
Did you hear what they called me? Yeah. Do you want to ask me about it? Do you
I
want
love
me to
this
ask you about it?
interaction.
Yeah.
How there was nothing else that needed
No.
to be said.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? No.
It's really about
There we
trying
go.
to create a multifaceted character who is trans, and that is absolutely an important part of who he is, but also a part of who he is, not the whole of who he is.
Was that mocap N, like, voice and face and everything?
Yeah, for every character.
Oh.
Yeah. Yara's there. Lev's there.
Oh, we didn't see Yara in that.
As far as
This is so cool to see.
the Paris
This is what you
cutscene, pretty stressed out.
Have I shown you a video of me on the dots and
We have
everything?
13
No,
days,
maybe like once
less
or
than
twice.
2 weeks to finish
but-
this thing, and there are still some big ticket items.
Big ticket items.
Big tickets. I'm liking this red cabling. We keep seeing this red cabling. It keeps going.
Yeah, if it was a video game, that would be where you would
Legacy
follow it.
turned out to be a much bigger project
It would lead to
than we
something.
originally envisioned,
Heavenly
but now that
bodies.
it's everyone is now on board.
Oh, look at the advent calendars.
Demo done.
She's putting on quite the show.
Oh, it was a placeholder. These are placeholder
It's very real.
characters.
We're in
That's
full
so
production
cool.
now, so I guess that's the short of it. Is we're in full production now.
Misdirection and the thunder rolls.
Hey everybody, PlayStation's live at Paris Games Week 2017.
Paris Games
I've
Week.
never heard of this.
Starting now.
Alright, Paris PlayStation. Oh, we did look it up, by the way. We saw that Naughty Dog is
Yes.
headquartered in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, which makes sense. I guess it's a place if they're all there and they know about the area, they can design it in a post-apocalyptic world.
Quite well. I had this, I pulled out my husband. I had this thought as to how much coffee do you think they consumed as a whole, like as a team?
In liters?
Yeah, like I want to know, what is going on here? I want to know, like, like everybody's talking about how the game was made, but how much coffee was consumed to make this game, you know?
I love you for thinking about that. Oh, that's so true. Well, how many hours was spent making the whole thing?
Yeah, that too.
But the coffee.
First in-depth look at a much anticipated and exclusive title.
Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2. Please be Last of Us 2.
Our fans, they want to know every last thing about what's going to be in this game.
Is this The Last of Us?
The Last of
Neil
Us.
has
The
taken
Last
the
of
way,
Us.
you know, he kind of creates an arc or like this sense of
This
drama,
arc,
this
the
kind of
rain,
sense of
the
One of
mystery,
my favorite shots
dramatic
is
tension,
the camera POV when she's being dragged.
Crazily has brought it to marketing.
The
I view
cinematic,
marketing as part of the game.
Stances
It's very
and
calculated what we put out there and how we want you to connect different marketing assets. When we first released the teaser trailer, too many people right off the bat said Joel is dead.
Oh.
The blown out light really.
Oh. So is that why they then created a trailer to try
Misdirection.
to...
So they're going to start talking about where they led.
Ooh, the sushi and sushi.
Will it justify misleading everybody and ruining our
It really
lives?
threw me for a loop, I'll tell you that much.
Really fucked us in a way I don't think any of us are coming.
Oh.
We actually underestimated our audience a little bit. They're so sophisticated now. So you have to get more sophisticated, like how am I still going to surprise players and viewers?
Yes.
You start on character.
I'm going to say that as your best friend who plays and watches anything with you and you know what's going to happen before it happens. I'm watching, like I show her a movie for the first time. In the first 10 minutes, she's like, he's going to die. They're going to fall in love. She's cheating. And I'm like, how? Your intuition and how you pick up on
But it's
things.
either, have you noticed it's 50-50, it's either spot on or it is the most crazy
I'd say most of the
theory
time,
you've ever thought of. You're
most
like...
of the time, you are very on it. And I think it's because you're very detail-oriented. I'm sure that's a huge
Attention
reason
to
why so
detail.
many of you guys watch her, which I do not blame you. It's the whole reason why I wanted to be her friend in the first place.
Aww.
Is because she's so on it. And I think I love how you play and I love how you pick up on things. And that's exactly what I'm sure. I was wondering when I watched your playthrough of this game, I was like, is she gonna call it? And I don't know if you did.
I don't think I did. Wait.
Because of the trailer, maybe.
I think because of the trailer, but I think... I can't remember at what point. It sounds crazy. She also can attest to my goldfish brain because for so many people,
To be fair.
I really do forget things. I never forget how something makes me feel, but I forget details. And I don't think I predicted it it wasn't in my.
But you'd also been misled by the trailer that you watched, which
That's
is
true.
their bit.
That's true.
So
Also, thank you. That was really sweet.
Just
Don't
say-
make me cry.
I say this to you all the time.
I think that by the time you realize it happens, or I guess there was a part of me that didn't want it to happen, and so I was probably in denial a little bit. But I did feel like from the first one, I got the sense that they would do what it took to tell a story. So I don't think I was necessarily shocked for a long time. Like that initial feeling I was lost, you were like, oh, shot through the heart. And Naughty Dog's to blame.
And Naughty Dog was also, to blame for two reasons.
Yeah. I think this is something though that you, probably in these positions, it's probably pretty easy to underestimate your audience and all the different like fan stories that they create and theories and ideas and why do I keep pulling this out?
Like people's entire YouTube content is like guessing things that they see and like people's entire platforms are just about discussing details and looking through holes of stuff. So you can't underestimate millions of people.
It's funny you say that because I do feel like I'm somebody who I want to know. And you're much more like, I'll let it, I'll ride the wave, I'll let it happen. Yeah. Because you don't want to ruin the story for yourself. Yeah. Like you almost don't want to. It's not that you're not you are attention to detail as well.
I'm happy to let things happen.
Yes.
Experience it as it's being intended.
Being told. And I think for me, I'm like, right, this happened because of this is gonna happen. I just love
you're a forward thinker and you're a planner, that's why.
That is true. I'm a big planner.
I'm more passive.
Yeah. I think that's why we always talk about it. Like she lets me I think lead in our friendship, but I always tell her she's actually leading from behind. Like she likes to let me think that I.
This also works in the street in London when she's walking off.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea where I'm going in London, but
she's walking as if she's been living here for 200 years, and I'm literally grabbing your back, going, "No, left. We're going left, honey." So I quite literally am leading from behind in a physical way as well.
I'm just a take charge kind of let's go, let's get it. Right, misdirection.
Misdirection.
Characters you've never seen before in a world that could be The Last of Us, could be anything.
The use of lighting.
Creates a really
the
cool
wet
sense of tension.
Skin and the firelight bouncing off
At no point are we going to market that you play as this other character.
Elemental.
What is this? Yo, that looks good though.
I was so excited about working on it and I couldn't say anything. It was so rough.
It breaks my heart.
She's gonna cut a baby out of
Yeah, I know, and everything
then
she had to
Uncharted
go
4,
through.
you find a comic book that shows Ellie's mom pregnant. So people already had theories that Last of Us Part 2 was going to have Ellie's mom. Oh, if we just kind of black out the letters, she has the same number of letters as Anna, Ellie's mom's name, we'll get people to think this is Ellie's mom.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Okay. It's got a good. That hammer's from the Outbreak poster.
So we have that poster with the forearm of a character you've never seen before, with this kind of wolf's head in the background. What does that mean? Kind of prompting this mystery.
You want people to feel like they figured everything out and then have the story surprise them.
And I love stories that surprise you. Stories that can give you a twist.
This is The Last of Us 2, bro. I'm gonna go crazy.
I love, because when you're watching it, you're like, is it? I don't know.
Last of Us 2?
That's a whole of
Oh! Well done. Well done.
Everything that we put out there is shaping expectation. And then the final game, hopefully, if we do our job right, should subvert those expectations in an interesting way.
Was that Ellie's mom in the last?
I didn't remember any of the speculation. I didn't.
Well, I didn't see any. I was off doing something else.
With that cinematic.
I didn't know any of this was happening.
I remember that release trailer where she's playing guitar and he comes in and goes "What's up, kiddo?" and she's like, "I'm gonna kill him." And I was like, "Wow, this is gonna be good." And then I saw the gameplay trailer, and the gameplay trailer was with Ellie, and Ellie was just killing some people, and it was talking about the localized damage, so you could hit the leg and they would go and they would clutch their leg and they would have to hobble the whole rest of the time, or they'd take an arrow to the shoulder and the whole rest of that combat interaction they would be in pain, or they couldn't use their arm, and I was like, that I've never seen that in a game before, how the damage was so specific
to hit in a particular spot.
It wasn't just shot and they were just taking generic damage. It wasn't, the damage wasn't generic, it was localized, and it was incredible. I thought, wow, it's amazing. I don't think I ever saw any of this stuff.
Some stuff, but not a lot.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
Abby was all new to me when I first played it. I don't think I missed all this.
Whatever.
We are making a violent game. We're not going to shy away from how violent it is. It is part of what we're trying to say.
And I thought it was a great discussion initially about what is the appropriate level of violence. When is something so violent that it just turns you off where you just don't want to experience it at all? I like that they were wrestling with those things.
Keep it coming.
I didn't like some of the insinuations about the trailer being misogynistic towards the female characters.
I don't think this story ever glorifies violence against women. There's no bias towards women or men. It just so happens that the two protagonists.
That's the perfect wording. There was no bias between.
Everyone was getting.
Everybody was getting schwacked and whacked.
There has to be fail states in video games, which means a character has to be capable of being hurt. So does that mean that there can be no female protagonists in video games? Because that feels super sexist to me. And frankly, like, women are the victims of violence, and don't we want to see women fucking fight back once in a while?
That character, her hand getting hurt, it has consequences for hours of gameplay to come.
One article even like asked the question, were any women involved in the making of this? And it's like,
this is interesting. I did not realize.
The co-writer, the lead character designer, the lead character artist, all the actresses that worked on that scene.
Because I think there's an element of you're in an apocalyptic state.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, at least for me, I feel like nobody would hold back. At least that's how I'd imagine. Because it's do or die.
And everyone, I wonder if in an apocalypse, everyone would also feel even more on an equal playing field, because there would be no space. There's less space for all of these kind of hierarchies and these kind of like societal norms, because everyone is just trying to survive and just make it to the next day. Abby's been training her ass off, clearly, physically for the exact purpose. Oh my god, sorry.
It's good me.
We have a splitter for audio, and
we're only hearing out of one ear.
It's all new. I could put it there.
Thank you. Oh, that'll help. I just gotta like.
She didn't do it. This is a very funny pause screen.
I know.
But like, Abby's been training for this exact reason, to defend herself, and also to go after the people that have wronged her. So that's like, it's literally part of her storyline.
Yeah, I find it interesting the speculation too, because I just didn't. I was I haven't looked up. I think I play a lot of games, and it's funny because I'm so interested in finding out about the backstory, but I find that as a creator, you kind of do have to get back up, and you can have such an emotional connection to a game, and you have to be almost like able to unplug from that and put your ox into like another, in a way.
Speaking of ox,
put it into another game, and then you have to like emotionally then attach to that, at least with how we play games, because we do want to respect them and give them the attention and just respect that they command. And so I think there's so many times that I'm not seeing the behind the scenes stuff for things, because I'm like, all right, we gotta go, we gotta go to the next thing. I can't stop for a week or two and decompress and then come back.
I'm exactly the same. Although I had to stop playing games after this. I played The Last of Us Part 2 for 2 weeks. I didn't play anything because I was so
minus stream.
Affected.
When you first because you weren't doing because your first
streaming.
playthrough was
not anything. I didn't know what Twitch was, what YouTube. Like, I was never in content when I first played this, and I just stopped playing everything for 2 weeks, and I was just grieving. I was just grieving.
I could see that.
Yeah, this is such a really interesting. I've not seen mocap with this many colors. This must show how detailed they've got, or just how the budget, I guess.
Even
too,
the right to left arm.
Yeah, everything is marked.
And
everything.
The butt arrows.
The booty chevron.
The booty chevron.
Yeah.
I was asking her because she has shown me some photos, and like when you have it right here, that camera here on your face, like the biggest fear of all of us is seeing like
you're trying to look at someone else, but everywhere you look, this thing is in front of you. So even when you're looking at another character on the set, you can't actually look at them because that's directly shining a light into your eyeball the entire way with the most fisheye lens.
The fisheye lens.
The most unflattering fisheye lens, looking at the detail of every nose freckle you have. There's a lot of fluff going on.
There's a lot of contrast in the color. What do you think?
I'm glad it's making you feel better. You happy? Next to me? Giving you a confidence boost? Good. Happy? One second. Pause. Ready?
Yeah.
So fucking. Here's what I hate about that article. I'm sorry.
Let's
do
go.
a modicum of fucking research. Just a modicum. Just a modicum of research. Just like a little bit before you put something out there to suggest that no woman could have worked on this because of the level of violence, because there was violence against women, because it is a video game. Is so fucking sexist.
Drop that mic.
I like watching graphic violence. Does that make me less female? Like, I like having a conversation about what power is. Does that make me less fucking female? I like working at a video game. I like playing video games. Does that make me less fucking female? Like, suck a dick.
Are you gonna talk about your Uber driver on the way here?
Oh, I had an Uber driver.
Oh, an Uber driver.
I like to talk to my Uber drivers. I really do. I mean,
Chatty.
I'm pretty chatty. I'm chatty in general, but I also just like hearing people's life stories, you know? Like, whenever I see a couple that have been married for a long time, I like asking them why, like how. Like,
we learn so much from strangers.
Yes. And so I hardly ever am on my phone the whole time. And so he started kind of chatting up, and I was chatting, and he was like, oh, so you're seeing your best friend? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how did you guys meet? And I was like, well... she slid into the DMs, but no, I tried to simplify it, you know, like you're not giving your whole detailed life story. And I said, we met playing video games online. And he was just like, you play video games, and like scoffed at it. And it was just, I was like, crazy. Yeah. And he was like, what kind of games? Like, and I told him like Red Dead Redemption, Elden Ring RPGs, like things like that. And he would just continue to kind of like laugh at it. And he's like, that's so crazy. You met your friend, like, playing games. Like, that's such a silly notion. And I'm like, is it?
It's crazy. Well, yeah, he said that, he said that women don't play games, or in his experience, women didn't game.
And that was just,
crazy.
I was like, what a time to start your trip visiting your best
You're like,
friend.
well, when games are the only thing that led us to each other. It's so fun. Anyway, I love her vibe.
No, that was fantastic.
Don't put that in. I can't.
Don't put that in.
Neil's gonna say put it in, but don't. I also don't represent all women, but I represent, like, I can represent this and say, I fucking wrote this. I wrote this. Like, I literally wrote the sentence, and then Yara eviscerates his esophagus from his throat. I wrote that sentence. That is in the script, and I fucking stand by it.
I love that.
I'm afraid of being turned into a token rather than the truth, which is like, we're being thoughtful about the female narrative. These characters are more than just their vaginas.
Wow.
If you want to have a serious debate about feminism in video games and female depiction of violence, and you need to not see it as a binary conversation. It is an incredibly nuanced conversation. You cannot make blatant statements, and you cannot make presumptions. Fucking do your homework.
I love that statement. Effing do your homework.
Do your homework.
Here. I'm tweeting.
She's
like, I wrote it, I swear.
I'm here. Grounded violence. Okay, wait, that was not the misdirection I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go on about the trailer.
Oh. I also think, like, what are we have? I'm trying to think of other really graphically violent games that we played. That I'm just trying to, like, I mean,
there's a lot of graphic violence in games, but it's in a more stylized way. If you think about things like, I know for me, Dying Light, Dead Island. These are all like hack and slash zombie games where you're chopping heads off, blood's everywhere, guts everywhere, but it's comedic. But it's meant to be almost a parody.
Right.
This is
real.
It's
like a comical. Well, if you think about Deadpool, right? Deadpool's massively violent, but like it's comical, so it's all under this like light ruse. That shows that they nailed realism, because if you take this violence,
no one's going, Dead Island 2, the way that zombie's head flew off is really upsetting me, and it's very graphic. That makes sense.
But because you see this as a realistic almost experience, or you relate to one character, you then are like, oh, this is so graphic for what you're seeing. Whereas something that is taken more lightly or has a comical, layer over it.
Or if it's not meant to be taken seriously. This is meant to be taken so seriously.
Yeah.
The tone of the violence in the game has always been important to portray as realistically as possible.
Our job
Well,
outside of just drawing up
Ooh,
concepts,
the
is
horse
really
carcass
pushing
Oh,
a
yeah.
reference pipeline to make sure that the character artists are getting the most realistic examples of whatever they're working on.
That
We
is,
can't find certain things.
Never thought about the shop that does the violence, or
Yes,
like what
the
it would
job
really look like,
or how blood is running down an arm if it's upside down. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
Is looking at how blood runs down skin.
I wonder if they ever. I mean, it seems like they're doing their own experiments, but I mean, you have people that are in crime units that totally look at like where the blood splatter go. You know?
Yes, they go. The blood. This indicates that the knife went this way because or the shot was from the down up because of the blood.
These are the details that like you just don't see enough.
So we make the reference ourselves.
Simulating brain on wall.
1, 2, 3.
How does that drip fall down?
What does canvas look like when it's soaked in blood?
That's something I talk about so much in the game is the pool of blood and where it goes and how they manage to
Splashing
do
blood
that.
on them, dripping blood on them.
Nice.
Tell me why your
We
job's
put
fun.
down some wet mud, pooled blood onto it to see how blood would react to a wet dirt surface.
Wow, that's a good point. I
So
would
there's,
never
like,
even
little
know.
pieces of, grass
would it go
and,
in
like,
or would it
twigs
go out?
and things that
Would it
carry through.
slowly
Like there's
pool?
actually movement.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Following the edge.
Thought it was horse poo, but
One of the animators got a piece of lamb and we stuck it in Gara's shirt sleeve and hit it with a hammer.
Oh. That was so. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we have a break. She's gonna need to hold this as straight, because if she does this, it's gonna, you know, just the weight of it's gonna want to make it fold. So trying to keep it as straight as possible.
This past week's shoot was specific for the infected eating people's jugulars.
Classic
and
day
there
at
was
the
a concept that
office.
was done with like blood running down the mouth, but it's like, would that happen? Like, let's find out.
Oh. Oh my God! What is that?
I got on the ground and pretended to
Oh, it's a rag.
eat away at like a bloody soaked rag that we made.
Is that gonna come out of this shirt?
It produced some pretty surprising results
She's
because
thinking about the
like
cleaning
most
the
of
laundry
my
bill.
face got covered in blood.
Did they reimburse you for your shirt? Teeth.
Oh my God! Every time.
Oh my God!
How can I make sure that you stop doing that?
It's me. It's because I'm fidgeting. I need to. It's because I just gotta put my arm up here. It keeps it.
We're Thelma and Louising with the
We are
arm.
Thelma and Louising.
That's so funny.
People here will go to that length of trying to make sure that things feel as real as possible. Yeah, we do a lot of crazy
Sorry,
stuff here. Nobody.
I just need to go back 1 second.
Yeah, run it back.
Did you just see? Did you? Where
A
we at?
whisper? Like back there. Yeah.
No, I'm seeing something, a poster in the background that I feel like you need
Yeah,
to...
this?
Yeah, do you know who that is?
I can't see from this far.
Is that not Jeff Goldblum?
Is it?
It looks like Jeff
Is it?
Goldblum. It'd be funny
Yeah, we
if
do
it was.
a lot of crazy stuff here. Nobody gets hurt, but
the meese.
It's really hard to see these characters that you spend so much time with, and for lack of a better word, kind of like birthing into existence, tortured and abused.
You would feel so attached to what you'd written and what you'd animated
Oh
and what you'd...
shoot, we're talking about this. Well, we already did kind of talk about this, right? So like.
We're shooting the Joel death scene, which is like the catalyst, the opening of the game. This scene has all of Abby's crew. It's a complicated scene because it's the most actors we've ever had in a single shot.
There's a lot of people in the room.
Yeah, there were.
That's Tommy.
Oh, you're right.
Or Joel doesn't die.
Now that you got that. You know what it was worth, last ditch effort. Hail Mary.
What happens is all of us become friends.
Knowing what was going to happen and knowing how it was going to happen, I got very fearful.
There's so much weight to this scene. This scene has to be right. It's really difficult to reshoot it if we need to. But in the first game, having to call Troy and Hannah back to reshoot Sarah's death was very, very, very difficult for me.
The last time I tried to do a big emotional scene.
Don't do this, please don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, please, God, no. Oh, God, no.
That didn't go too well, and we had to reshoot it.
Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
How the hell am I gonna play this? Like, how are we gonna do this? I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have the chops. Am I gonna put Laura through this? Because I know how hard it's gonna be on her.
The chops is such a sweet way of saying it.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Take one, Mark.
Action.
Joel Miller.
Who are you?
Guess.
Why don't you just get out whatever speech you rehearsed and get this over with?
You don't get to rush this.
I know it's not even the
Dan, I
same.
really loved what he brought to it.
I couldn't wait to get back
She's
into
so
Ellie's shoes again.
just-
because
I
it's
love
where,
Ashley Johnson
Weirdly, I feel most
so
comfortable
much.
in a lot of ways because it
She's
feels
just iconic.
like a character that feels the most like me that I've ever played,
Oh.
which is a little disturbing. I mean, minus like the murder and the killing.
I love her.
It's a bit of step forward, like you're about to like lunge and shoot.
Sweet.
The biggest change that has happened since initial pitch is Ellie is there when Joel is killed. It used to be she came across the body, and then she had to rely on Tommy's testimony of what
Right.
happened.
Okay.
And we shifted it.
That's what he
which
was talking
made
about
it
at the
much
beginning.
more
Yeah, I was
dramatic
confused
and
about that.
intense for her, and I think puts more of it on screen and again allows you better to understand why she needs to pursue these people.
The mocap door is always so funny. These little swingings that normally are like a piece of wood or
The
something.
hardest part for me was looking over at Ashley.
No! No!
Knowing that Troy was gonna not be a part of it as much was really hard, and knowing that Joel was not gonna be in Ellie's life anymore, it was just it was hard. So much of that day kind of feels like a blur because there were so many feelings involved in it.
And they made her,
What I had to do, I felt was very, very little. There's one reaction, and beyond that, we're on Ashley. There was no acting. There was pure, raw emotion. I'm staring in the face of that.
Joel! What are you doing this? Get the fuck off me!
I'd lost a little bit of my voice. I couldn't scream like as loud as I wanted to, you know, to get that frustration and that sadness out. Ashley was behind, crying, and God. And knowing Abby was taking this away from her was very difficult.
Wow.
And so I was crying when we were filming that scene. Yes, it was very emotional. You want what I want, right?
Oh, is that
Oh,
it?
that's
And
He's
it's
got a beard.
now.
Wait, please stop! No! No!
Little beard.
Joel! Joel! No! No!
I know it's like it's the behind the scenes, but you can visualize it.
We want him to die in this really unforgiving sort of way. Like it needs to feel.
This is one of the things a lot of people are going, why did it have to be that visceral? Why
Yeah.
couldn't it have been a different way? But I think this is exactly why they wanted that. Is so that you play the rest of the whole game going, I have got to do something about what I just saw. Or how they did that has got to have repercussions. You know, if someone just came in and shot Joel in the head straight away once, boom, they wouldn't like. I mean, sure, they would have.
You wouldn't go in this revenge.
Oh my
plot.
god, yeah, this is like what she
Making her watch.
Totally.
Like, every step along it was like
how graphic it is sets up the rest of it.
Yeah.
So in a way, it is a choice to make it that way, which is what he's saying.
And I mean, there's so many different ways to interpret it, but Abby wasn't able to overcome that thirst for, vengeance.
Yeah.
And then Ellie goes on it, and it takes her every fiber in her being to not succumb to that same feeling, like at the very end, to let them go. So it's
having got there, abandoned everything that she's left.
It was not that she couldn't.
Yes.
But she chose not to.
Sacrificing Dina, sacrificing everybody to finally gets there. It would be so hard to not follow through, but she chose not to.
The interesting question I think I had in my playthrough was, is this what Joel would have wanted? And Joel probably would have said back in the first one, I cannot, he acted without even second thought as to what the repercussions would be. And if he did think about them, he didn't care what was to come. There wasn't
a lot of thought in not a lot of thought in a lot of Joel's.
His pure reaction to him possibly losing the person he cared about now more than anything. And I think, I don't know if it's what Joel really, I think you can probably assume like he wouldn't have wanted her to go through as much suffering as she had been through, and to lose Dina and to lose the fragments of happiness that she had found. But it's just, you think about that one decision for Joel created a change for all of these people after the butterfly effect, right? Just
honestly,
everything.
That is also leads me to what I was going to say. When he's sitting there and she's like, "Do you know who I am?" And she's like, "Guess, go on, guess. Who do you?" And I think at that point he knows he could have done anything to a lot of people.
He's done a lot of bad.
And he kind of resigns himself to that. It could be anyone. He's not thinking, "Oh my God, what have I done to deserve this?" He's like, he's probably there going, "Fair enough. I could have done something to warrant someone wanting to do this to me." And he doesn't ask any questions and just goes, "Okay, just say what you want to say and do it."
I remember after I got to the scene, I had voice messaged you, and I think she was expecting me to come off and be like, "This is so stupid, I don't want to play this game anymore. I can't believe he died."
I worry when people get to that bit.
I think you were really worried about that from other people's reception, but I think you knowing me and knowing how much I loved Joel, for so many, now I'm like, oh, so many different, okay. But I loved him so much, and I think she was so afraid, and I voice noted her, and I was like, he wasn't a perfect person. He's not this saint. Like, it's easy to put him on this pedestal because you look at him as, this certain figure of authority in Ellie's life, and you bond with him, and you see him with the joke books and all of these little key moments that endear him to you. But he's not above his own sins. Like, he's done so many things to people. And so he, even just having that acceptance at the end, like you just mentioned, like he was like, so I remember I said that and you were like, yes.
Yes,
you were like, yes. You're like, I have nothing further to add.
Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's why the trajectory of our friendship went in such a great direction rather than down. Because if you were like, this game sucks, that would have been like a very interesting block.
So true. Goodbye.
They could have written it with him being like, "What were we doing? What are you doing? How are you doing this to me? Like, I haven't done anything. Who are you? Who are you?" In panicking.
I haven't deserved this.
Yes,
but he knew.
He doesn't panic. He doesn't question it. He goes, "All right. I guess I fucked up somewhere." All right.
But yeah, it's that acceptance. That is such a powerful point when she asked him. She's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm sure for him, he realizes like he's done so many things. It could be anybody. Right? It could be anything. It could be tied to the Fireflies, like the any number of people.
And also credit to Joel there, shows that he takes responsibility in a sense for anything that he's done. When he's like, "Oh, you act like you've heard of me" or something. He's not going, "I didn't do anything," or that wasn't me. Or he does lie to Ellie, of course, but I do see him also as a man of integrity somehow, in amongst all of his decisions, because he will own them.
And he does what he does for other people.
He eventually does own it.
He does.
When she goes, "Listen,"
she finds out.
"You tell me this is it. You tell me right now, or I'm gone." And he goes, "Okay." And so, there is integrity in amongst all of this, obviously incredibly selfish decisions.
Because you also have to take into account his previous daughter was younger. He in a way projected onto Ellie to being his next kind of ward, his daughter.
Yeah.
But she was also a different age. She was a different person. And so he's trying to make parental decisions for somebody who he's not a parent to. And Yeah, there's so much complexity in that, but gosh.
Ooh.
I mean, you and I talk about the Joel scene all the time, and what Joel did and the consequences it had. And I think we talk about this a lot. Like, whenever we want to dig deeper into why we are like we are, we're like, so parents, interest.
Yes.
So, like, childhood memory.
Let's dig into why.
But she goes on all of this, and everything with her life changes the moment he decides to make the decision about her life for her. Yeah. It like sets the whole thing into motion.
It's one of my favorite lines in the whole game is when she goes, my life could have fucking mattered and you took that from me. And I think that's the crux of it. It's like, I'm not saying, you know, she's not mad at him for loving her. She's not mad at him for saving her life. Of course you can't be mad at for that in a sense, but it's like, I could have had more of an impact that was important, and I wanted that, and you took that decision from me. And that's the problem with Joel's decision. It's not that he loved her, it's not that he you know, was a wounded parent, or, you know, it's not that, it's the fact that he took it from her.
And even that is something I think everybody can relate to. I think a lot of us want to make a bigger difference than ourselves, and Ellie was not of
course, and you live in a world like that, and you're off, and someone's going, you know, you can do something. You how many people are gonna be like, nah?
Oh,
no,
you know what?
I'm good. I would like to carry on living in a desolate wasteland, please. But, this video gonna be long. Sorry, guys, in advance. I just know.
I told you guys we're gonna stop. We're gonna pause. We're gonna chit chat.
Senseless for you to say, "Fuck these people. I'm gonna pursue them to the ends of the earth and make them pay."
No, that's true. That's true.
If the scene doesn't work with what we captured on the stage, almost nothing we do in post is going to make it work. Joe will take a pass at the scene, and I'll give kind of high-level notes.
But he's doing it without animated cameras, without character models, without environment. And so it's a bit of a guessing game to see if this will work.
You're always trying to avoid reshoots because it's so much time and energy, so you want to get it right first
time.
time.
There was a lot of repetition and it felt long. Once like Joel's head gets smashed, I don't want a close-up look of him.
No.
Okay. No, what if we could do like the smash from the back of his head?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like
That's what happens.
Like
and you just see Ellie in the peripheral.
Change and like blood starts pouring out, but I don't focus on it. Like I don't see the details.
No, I think that was a good call.
Club comes down and it's just like she's screaming. I feel like we could just take all their audio out and like music could take
it's almost
over.
like
More rage
it's almost like a
the white noise just comes in like a flashback.
The
I'll come back and there'll be another version of the scene.
Okay, play.
Don't we Please stop. Please stop.
I couldn't look at a golf club the same way for a while. That
Overall, it's fucking awesome. Like I got emotional just the part where before he gets killed. It feels so fucking tense.
There certainly is still a ton to do. We still have like 45 scenes that haven't even been looked at yet. It's
45
terrifying, given our
Holy.
deadline. The process right now is just getting Neil. We just need to get Neil into the room.
Which one are we showing first? We've got essentially 3 versions. The one that I did, and this would work with what we're talking about doing with the scene.
Because Neil can't be in every place at once, so I have to wait till he's free to show him the right thing. And
I would probably say
people standing
this yours Mel, or
I got bad news.
Mel yours this.
He's canceling?
He's canceled.
But we had the cameras set. He's supposed to come in. He's the
actually. It's good we're getting this on camera.
This is it's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
He has some melee stuff to review today.
Oh,
he said let's pick them up tomorrow.
So yeah, that's what happens. So it's like, okay, all right, that's fine. I don't care.
I do want to say I really enjoy this employee's perspective because he's saying things that aren't necessarily, like, they're spot on with, I think, what we feel, but he focuses a lot on, like, how leadership treats them, because that it matters so much. Like, people do not leave the job, they leave the boss, you know, they leave the...
And if you've got 300 people, one game, one concept, one main writer, obviously, like, that he's going to be all over the place.
Yeah,
and I love the understanding for that and the patience. Like,
he's showing patience, but he's also saying, like, because I'm sure they're very honest with each other, too, and they give each other feedback, and are like, hey, this kind of made me a little discouraged.
Yeah.
Like, but it shows, like, they're not just fluff, you know? It's not...
Yeah.
And it shows he's got heart in that.
And then this is what I must have seen then. And it's in the car park level section where...
Oh.
I get called up to Neil's office one day.
It's very green and disheveled.
Disheveled. The entire
it's
world.
Like
there's like an empty
half of it's sunk into the ground, half of it's up.
And Neil just goes like, oh, just sit down. I'm like, oh my God, I did something wrong. And he's like, do you know why you're here?
Oh shit, I hate that question. Don't leave with that question.
No, are we going to talk about one of my levels? And he laughs and he goes like, no, you're going to work on the E3 demo. It's always been a dream of mine, working on an E3 demo, seeing it on stage. Is this a joke? Like, am I getting pranked right now?
Oh, he's so cute.
So speaking of E3 demos, remember way back when, like, you guys said you were going to block that content?
Okay, so release this questioning.
Touch it? How's that go?
Yeah, question mark.
Well, and then we shipped just the glossiest, best-looking demo you've ever seen.
the black and white flashback.
At the beginning of January, and then we don't touch it again, and nobody sees it until E3. Well, I think we knew at the time that we weren't going to not touch it. It's going to be really interesting to see if we can really commit to being and not be tempted to say like, it could be a little better. Let's go back, because the game's been making progress for the 10 months or something since we locked that demo down. A lot of advances have been made, a lot of new ideas, new mechanics, and we really just need to have the discipline not to do that. Honestly, it feels like we are addicted to being late.
Oh! I can relate.
Starting
I can
exactly what we're going to do today, other than come up with a really long
I made us
list.
half an hour late to our dinner reservation yesterday.
Try and limit it to an hour.
But it still works out. You know what? You are lucky. We got squeezed in.
Look at the cinematics table.
So,
because we did it so early,
like
and had a rough version of it a year in advance, we got a bit complacent.
Oh, Dina, are you okay, girl? She's putting on quite a show.
Yeah.
Putting on quite the show.
She's putting on quite the show.
Putting on a very interesting show.
Sure is. Where are we on getting physics on these strands?
Oh.
We are working on it.
So for next time?
That's such a vague answer. We are working on it.
We didn't scramble to figure out what it is we're going to show. We had the structure of like the festival going into this fight in the woods in Seattle, but it was harder to build the momentum we usually have. And I think that panic just wakes everybody up, and felt like it took us a bit longer to get there this time.
So then you go in as if to kill this guy, see somebody over there. Oh, breaks.
I was not very stealthy.
Breaks 50% of the time.
You weren't?
Use your
Were
imagination.
you more like pew pew on everyone? Were you?
People are mad I killed the dogs because I think I didn't have...
It's very hard to not kill the dogs.
No, yeah, I was like scared to kill something else, and then people were like, but you were like brutally slaughtered the dogs, and I was like...
in the demo...
The dogs are one of the quickest ways of dying in this game. They sniff you out, they lead you back to human beings, and... Okay, no.
And they just...
No one wants to kill a
Nobody
dog.
likes dogs
but
in
you also
any game.
need to survive. In
Resident Evil. Horrible.
Doji.
Any Souls game you've ever played.
Doji.
Horrible. Doji's to our left, Doji's to our right.
Doji and Gabbana. Everywhere.
Oh, if we finish it.
Doji's everywhere.
As far as the eye.
I'll be frank, it's not looking
never
good.
seen it.
Alright, this is totally broken. For next week, let's make sure it's all there so we can actually review it.
Well, they look so defeated.
Yeah.
I feel like this demo is cursed.
The crows! Hear the crows?
So this was it.
The E3 demo. It was a version of our original Greenlight demo. But I had to make it fully playable and shippable.
Viper! Well, also, if this is his first and his dream, this is intense pressure
The
on
first
yourself.
thing I did was just basically take that space, Made by another level designer and put just enemies in it and start fighting. But when I started playing it, I remember like it wasn't there. That parking structure was way smaller, so it felt more cramped.
God is good.
God is good.
I remember going to Neil's office and being like, how much can I change this? And he's like, well, what are you thinking? I'm like, well, I'm thinking like this big thing, and I'm like, just like brand new designer, I'm just throwing out like everything, like I want to do this, and I want to do that, I want to make sure that it feels like a sandbox, that it feels like this big space, that it's multiple paths. It's like something like we really haven't done before in The Last of Us. And he just goes, go for it.
He seems like, his leadership style is really interesting, like in a good way.
Yeah. Open to new thoughts.
We picked a
trusting
location in
people.
Seattle.
I'm assuming
that
he's
essentially is
handpicked a lot of
probably
his
the hardest
employees to a
lighting
certain
scenario
degree.
we would
So he puts
have
trust
to
in
pull
them.
off in the game. I wanted to get the overcast look nailed because so much of the game's dependent on that. How do we pull off this look? Can we pull off this look?
Everything felt a little muted. We were losing kind of that next-gen quality of our engine.
Like for a second, we actually turned the sun on in the demo.
Oh, turned the sun on.
I turned the sun.
But we lost the mood
Some leaves
of
are dead,
that overcast kind of blue look.
Yeah.
That moment was really rough for me. Just felt like years of my life that potentially would have just been like wasted on this pipe dream of a look.
Well, we were struggling. Like last summer, it was like a fine balancing act.
Is this whole thing just gonna crumble? Like, is the whole direction like now gonna have to change for the game, not just this demo? Have I steered this company wrong?
Took some really big iterations and tried some crazy ideas, and we came up with kind of a hack.
We talked with the programmers and
wait, what is he talking about? Was
a few settings that actually gave us exactly what we wanted. It was really like one thing.
We faked the sunlight within this kind of ambient look so we could get some directionality of the lighting.
That it was like, oh, if we do this one thing, it actually got us the look we wanted. So like, I'm glad that happened.
Aw.
Gosh.
For this game, there was a major push to make a new volumetric fog system. It's not just like a kind of an overlay on top of the screen. That's why it's called volumetric. You feel the volume of it. It's gonna be a little bit thicker near the ground, right? Because there, you will see grass kind of getting through it.
The roots, like, of the trees.
Fog also allows you to see the light. Fog adds atmosphere. Atmosphere brings everything together.
And like something that is always really cool about this world is watching nature like reclaim previous locations.
Absolutely. Seeing that's like the moss taking over a car, or like how grass starts growing over a building or concrete, and I love seeing those two things blend.
Like they come together. It just really, it definitely lays out this apocalyptic, feel, or post-apocalyptic, but it's such a part of the atmosphere of this and I think there's probably something really beautiful in that too, where you've got, this new...
A reclaiming.
Yeah. I guess I said it right the first time.
Yeah. That reclaiming.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea. Away,
you changed the pace.
Rio.
You changed the pace.
It's fare ye well, my pretty young girls, 'cause we're bound for the Rio Grande. Well, it's goodbye to Sally and goodbye to Sue. You never had to sea chant?
No. No, I had no idea what was happening. I just hit record and that happened. So that was free. Free extra content. Spotify. Listen up.
Obungo. You need to... Okay. Gotta be right up on him.
I'm gonna be like, it's in this scene.
In this scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now with this game, we did add recently some new tech that allows us to make some of the water drips more dynamic, meaning that if you have a car, you will see a water, follow the glass, follow the hood, and from the bumper, you're gonna start seeing dynamic droplets. So that was really cool.
From the top.
And then we can now actually also use this technology to drive blood. Now we can have blood dripping, and we have water dripping.
Oh, I don't even know if I ever noticed that.
And mixing with the rain.
It can change its own color and start dripping more red. And on top of it, we also clear out the blood. So what you will see is bloody area, you will see water trails going down, and you will see the water trails washing out the blood and picking up the red.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Really, really cool.
In the E3 demo, we do want to show
face down in
next-gen
the dirt.
animation system.
Is this what they were talking about with the damage stuff? Because I wonder if that was one that they wanted to highlight or not.
One of the
it gets
biggest
so tense, the
animation
combat in this
upgrades that we wanted to add to this project was motion matching. The way that it works is it takes a pool of animation data and it picks the most appropriate clip to blend together and create just very fluid and organic movement.
Wow.
We want
Also,
these characters to just feel grounded and believable in the world, properly shifting their weight and moving the way a real human would.
Yes, I feel like it comes up in your stream at least once a day. I love
That's
it.
because they always say I'm a CQC sniper, which is not a thing. But I just, anytime I can use a sniper,
which is not a
thing. To capture all of those on the stage, we use something called a dance card, a choreographed set of patterns that the actor can move on the floor.
Basically, that's creating this like bank of little pieces of animation. The motion matching system just pulls from that bank all the animation that's necessary to have them move perfectly in any arbitrary way. When it works, it's like so far and away better than any other animation technique.
You notice that,
it's like
you know when you've got like an NPCs next to you and you just want to run a corner and they keep running into you and stuff, and you start like seeing how the NPC is running around bookshelves and like that
they're on like a track.
Bless Dina. Dina was always in my way. Always in my way. I'm like, Dina, please.
Were you mad about it? Were you really mad about it?
I'm not mad about it.
Leap of the highest order in terms of quality.
Hate to see it go. Love to watch her leave.
Any one mechanic is not maybe anything you haven't seen before. It's the combination of how it all comes together, the way it works with the animation system.
The new stuff we're talking about is like, oh, you can be in grass.
She went into the grass.
I just love the black and white part of the
things we do.
The flashback.
Yeah.
The bottles. I love throwing a bottle.
To be like, oh crap, you can jump. You know, like it's like, but.
Are you a bottle or a brick lady?
Oh, now this is a good question.
It's a very simple question. Answer it right now.
I like to think I dabbled, but I don't think that's true. I think I want to say I was more of a brick girly. I think.
That's why we love her. That's why we love her.
I think. Y'all probably know better than I. Y'all can.
That's our gal.
Were you? I'm assuming.
Yes,
okay.
Brick all the way.
I mean, I did like. There is something. I don't know. There's something so. The brick is not nearly as satisfying as when you just break a bottle over somebody's head, but.
The brick is cooler. It just is.
Y'all are gonna come back and tell me I use bottles the
when
whole
you
time.
throw the brick and it just goes rather than.
Well, I will say for like a sound, yeah, I think the brick would be a little bit more quiet than the.
So much less.
But I actually think we had talked about this before, and I think I said I was a bottle girly.
Anyone who's out there who's listening to this, find the receipts.
Find the receipts. Let us know.
Because we gotta know. We gotta know.
Because my memory doesn't.
No. Neither does mine, to be fair. Neither does mine.
To our game.
We have to have the best prone mechanic of all time.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Oh, dude, I love the little
no one's ever seen
hammer
aim and prone, and she actually like rolls up on her back and aims like this.
So cool. Oh, the heart.
Like, it can never clip through geometry. Being able to rotate 360 in all directions. It can never, like, do a janky thing when she's reloading while doing it or aiming.
I know.
My favorite words.
In water, it's like an eye cake thing that like lifts your chest and head up, and then it gets too deep. Now we're in a special prone underwater
God, they must have to keep doing something like this again and again to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
I don't think I could stay prone like that. I'm pretty sure I'd be bobbing.
Her chest and arms and everything are kind of matching.
Am I grabbing onto the dirt? I don't know.
Things that a player will never notice. And it's because we like purposely did it. There's no such thing as like...
That is true. Those are things that like you and I do look for attention to detail, but we don't necessarily think like that. And he even said it right there. They're not necessarily things that you would point out, but they do add to that overall feel that you get.
You can be in the middle of something that's so tense and you try and go left and you're just hitting a rock and the game's going no, and it completely just takes you out of it for a second. And this game has no moment where you're like, I'm
frustrated. I don't think I really had any frustrating moments with it.
No, you're not like, oh, Last of Us, why are you not doing that? It's got everything.
Oh, you know, it's not as good as, you know, this other game's one, but like, it's fine. It's got like, no, it's fucking Naughty Dog. We have to have the best version of the thing, whatever that is.
Fair enough.
It's a lot
Fair
of
enough.
a lot of applied pressure.
I wonder what made Naughty Dog have its reputation, like what made it so...
E3 overall was amazing.
Was it Uncharted?
The press conference was in a very different venue. They usually
Crash
have them in like
Bandicoot?
these big
Crash
auditoriums.
Bandicoot was first.
And this was
but
kind of like, almost like...
I wonder if that was the thing that made them like...
That's right, because
have all of this, you know...
The only time I played Crash Bandicoot was in Uncharted. Because I didn't grow up on...
Oh, Lord.
I know.
I should play Crash Team Racing. Would you play one match with me later? Or like before you go?
Maybe. Yeah, I would.
She wouldn't play Rocket League with me. I asked for one match of Rocket League. She said no. She turned me down.
I chose to play Heavenly Bodies.
Okay, we played all of Heavenly Bodies.
We played the entire thing of Heavenly. I was geared more towards space. I was in a space mode.
Okay, that was actually really good.
It was fun.
Recommend.
It was a good time.
Like a pop-up.
Ooh, floofy big macaron thing.
What?
That big building with like a big meringue.
The canine unit.
It was more like a theme park idea, but it's like in a parking lot, in a tent, in Los Angeles, at downtown.
They recreate the lights in the barn. That's what it looks like.
They built the whole crazy church thing, which was
pretty
rad.
Wow.
It was super cool. It was better than we expected.
That is phenomenal. Can you imagine getting to attend that?
Oh my god.
Oh, you wouldn't.
I would lose it.
I know.
I would lose it.
Wow. Just incredible. To see all those people there. So that's packed. Oh, wow, that's packed.
So what's this
and
for?
you can feel like the tension of people trying to figure out what is
Another
this
press
press
conference?
conference?
This is like
What's
the
going on?
demo, right?
What game are they going to show here?
Is it a press conference?
Is this finally showing the demo that they've been working on?
Yeah, and it might. Yeah. That's a lot of people that back in there. You know I love this bar.
Yeah!
On the Naughty Dog logo, you get this big cheer. On the Ellie reveal, you get this big cheer.
Oh, they're cheering!
Every moment that we've constructed and planned.
I know you and I have talked about this, but I love characters that have freckles.
Really,
like,
a year now.
Because she got them too.
Yeah.
And hit the way we wanted it to hit.
Maybe they're jealous of you.
Just a girl.
Just a girl.
Standing in front of
Not a threat.
I think they should be terrified of you.
I love that moment.
I wonder what the response was in the room at that time, whether it was also like a way or...
I love her response to her.
Oh! Yeah, like a woo!
The passion.
Also, kisses are so hard to get right in animation because it just looks like two flat things.
Because you wouldn't
like,
mocap
it's so
that.
hard. No, you can't mocap.
You can't mocap. Oh yeah,
because
because you have that thing. Oh! That's what they show.
Oh!
No, it's too violent. Too violent.
Yeah, no, there cannot be a single woman in the making of this. It's crazy. Too violent.
I like hearing their live reactions.
The HUD came on.
I'd love to go to like a live gaming reveal.
Frogs.
They looked at that forest and thought, there's no way it can look this good. Like, that's impossible. But when we flash the HUD and be like, yeah, that's it. This is the real game. People are not ready for this. Like, this is going to fuck you up.
Oh. Because there were some big boys. Like.
Yeah, there's like these little mini boss type humpies. And then they plead for a bit if you let them.
Oh,
I told you.
They'd be terrified of you.
They should be terrified.
Oh, that's
yeah, that's yeah.
What's the little eyebrow?
I know, the little eyebrow thing.
You both have an eyebrow scar.
Man, everybody on that team should be so
It was
proud.
electric. My skin was like tingling the whole time.
Like as soon as it's done playing, I'm like on my phone.
And it was wild. It was wild to see it just everywhere. See it on YouTube, see people commenting on it.
Oh.
Because it's something you don't have in the first one. There's no romance really.
It was a
like,
really
No, yeah,
special
there
moment.
isn't. Best video game kiss.
I shipped something, like as a level designer.
There was such a reaction to the animation fidelity. Holy crap, this is the best looking animation I've ever seen. Are you kidding me?
We're on the forums, going through the messages, seeing how much people think it's amazing. Someone's like, sort of cynically, that our stuff was fake.
What?
I guess it's kind of a compliment to the animation team.
Yeah, I mean, I would take it as like it's so good that it has to be fake, right?
Don't respond, don't do anything. Like, it's just not professional.
I was also a little anxious about it because it's a little fake, you know?
What? Fake is an interesting word. There's an argument that he's right.
It's not the final polished game. You can't just play this demo anyway. You have to play
they're
this
trying
very
to say that
specific
like
way.
that representation's
But
not
before we
going
even
to be
show the
reality.
demo, it was like, let's not put anything in there we feel like we can't do.
There was no thing of like, we don't know how we're gonna do that. It was just, we literally just don't have it systemic yet. You know, like systemically, a guy pulling you out from underneath a car, we didn't have that hooked up yet.
Right, okay. Because they're still working on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we have it hooked up in the game. It's her!
Oh. You're right, he grabbed that area. He went for that. That's so...
Yeah.
All over soon.
Oh.
I'm really impressed that they're putting that in their
Ultimately,
official
as
documentary.
we're building the rest of the game, if anything feels
what they promised
like
and then what they
it's
delivered,
not the right call for
it's
the
so
game,
transparent.
we don't mind changing it. Like
Love
we had
that.
certain things in the demo for the first
I think,
Last of Us.
I know I've talked about that with my community before, but like I think people just want transparency. Like I think at the end of the day, like whether you're saying like a deadline or whatever it is, it's like I think people just want something that feels realistic and something that feels transparent. And
even if it's we're just struggling to hit this deadline because we've got all these things that we want to do and it's not quite right yet. We're so sorry. It's going to be another, like, even just that being honest, rather than making something up,
the
or
owning up,
just
like owning. Yeah.
Where like Joel picks up a pistol and takes out individual bullets from it and then pockets it, and like we could have done that. It just took too long. So for gameplay purposes, we cut that out.
I was talking to other animators, and they were like, "Yeah, man, they think it's fake. They have no idea. Like,
it's hard to do like gun reloading and like where they story and all of it.
Yeah,
you
it doesn't
know?
become tedious.
They were confident, which I'm glad.
Or like the player eventually feels like it's too repetitive. You know, they're like, "Oh, this animation I see
what
it all."
we were doing, and we knew how special it was. It was a little bit of a microphone drop to the industry, and for many it was inspirational, and they were excited to be able to add some of those details to their games and their future games, and for some of them it absolutely freaked them out to see this might be the new bar that's expected for
like dodge for a second.
I IRL dodge all the time when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I really do.
He's like, oh shit, like they're fucking calling us out. It's like, we have to deliver this.
I gotta be like, oh, I'm so in it.
That is, we didn't even talk about that, but that's so true. Like the pressure from other companies, and like you could be setting the standard for all of these other games and what they have to top. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, you have industry pressure.
Like we always were gonna, but now it's like people have called us out. So
we gotta prove it. You know me.
Do a full body
You're like,
time
to go.
When you pick up a bottle and you're running, and not just a partial animation, because that guy fucking called us out.
He's like, that one person will rue the day that I
mistake.
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
I vividly remember this.
The whole game look as good as this one controlled situation.
We come out of E3 and hopefully we've set the standard for this, what the rest of the game needs to feel like.
Fresh eyes. I see true colors.
Okay, just me. All right, I'm carrying myself.
Sorry.
I already know exactly what you're supposed to do in the game. You've memorized everything. It's hard to have a true experience with it. You have to bring in people from the outside to play it fresh.
Do and be.
If you can tell, in a break a little bit before, we had food and we like got reawakened. It's not your average wallflower.
No. Oh, I get it, because it's reflower.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So we try to start playing this as early as possible.
Oh, they had a Crash Bandicoot.
We've got testers in bright and early. They're going to start playing the game. They're actually just right across the hall over here.
These headphones, yes.
I have a bone to pick with these headphones. I just
personal bone to pick.
Yeah, just respectfully, I think the vibe of them is not my favorite.
It is
it's a bit wide at the.
It's a little odd.
It was an attempt.
It was a time and place.
Because things have to work.
Right. No bugs.
So I'm currently watching the 10 people that we have in at the moment focus testing.
Focus test.
We've got all of their screens up, so I can kind of watch all of them at the same time, generally keep track of any kind of recurring patterns or how long people generally take in certain areas.
They do things we haven't thought of, and it really shows us where our holes are. It's like, maybe I should change this. Maybe I should try that.
Fresh perspective.
This player's pretty lost, trying to figure out this puzzle here, and they're trying to jump on it.
Do you reckon being a game tester would ruin games for you, or it would be fun?
I think it depends. Well, I guess if you're a game tester, right, like you're supposed to, are you supposed to give feedback at the same time, or are you just playing the game and trying to find bugs? I think it's a little bit of both, right? You'd probably be giving maybe verbal feedback, but I think when you're a critique for something, like you're critiquing, it would be hard to see it for not the flaws, because you're looking for that. Like, I almost think you probably are pulled out of, it's kind of like how you were talking about the collectibles, and you were saying that you didn't want to plat a game because it would pull you from the story.
Yeah, because you'd be walking around the same box going, oh, I caught my foot on the corner, and it would stop you. Yeah.
Like, you're probably
Depends
looking
what you play games for, I suppose. If you just love the industry so much and you just want to help make things the best they can be, or
Truck.
That's an interesting
He's got a really awesome solution here where he's putting this plank on a
playful
dumpster.
After she gets McDonald's? Is she playful?
So we probably have to go in there and like try and fix some of that stuff.
I mean, no, we didn't. We're really healthy.
We'd rather figure that out now.
We got cucumber sticks.
We did.
6 months.
We did.
And fries.
I love the focus in this guy's face.
For things like puzzles like this one.
He's ready to
but
find those
although
bugs.
they're figuring out the puzzle, they're actually not doing it in the kind of order that I'd like. What would be better is if they came into the space and realised, okay, that's the thing I need to be like climbing up to or getting to.
So
and
you
then
see
they
what
can
the
kind
player's
of
doing automatically from what they're seeing.
work backwards from there and go, well, if I need to get there,
From
how
a
do I
base
get
level.
up?
Yeah.
It's quite heartbreaking when you see people who are like really confused or don't get it, and it's something you think like it should be obvious, but it's not at all.
Right. I definitely got frustrated a lot.
But it's good data.
Oh, no more in any game.
Okay.
We've had a few people on the team that have been really passionate about making our games even more accessible for people with different kinds of disabilities and making sure as many people as possible can experience our game.
Bun is on my scratching post.
Accessibility is something that like really touches a lot of people. As we get older, pretty much all of us are going to have probably some sort of accessibility need.
It's important to bring people with disabilities into all of our public spaces, into our shared culture, and that video games are a rich part of that.
I love this, that you don't have to have like a 2-button feature to keep her crouched down. This is awesome. I love that.
Brandon Cole, he said, I heard you announce this game. What do you think about the possibility of someone like myself being able to play it? And Brandon is blind. I hadn't really thought about that before. I don't even know if that's even possible, but I want to try because that sounds interesting. If you click on the L3 button,
I didn't
turns the screen and character towards
too much at the accessibility features of the game, but it's. I remember being up for an award for it. They do awards.
Plague Tale.
Oh really?
No. What were you talking
I'm talking about this. I'm just talking about this.
They were up for an award for it.
I think so. There's
I'm sorry.
There's like a category in the game at certain game awards for accessibility.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and I think this was up for it.
Well, because I think it's become like a very like they're starting to put way more like minds behind it and trying to make it as inclusive as possible. Yeah.
There's an amazing streamer I know. He plays video games completely without sight and streams, and it's just it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to see what games are facilitate that type of gameplay or not. So
there's a whole nother level to it. Like it's
It's lovely to see that they're thinking of that.
It was very much inspired by the talk you gave last time you were here.
I figured.
Hopefully that's
a beautiful thing.
They make the
we
audio
had this
more
feature that let you navigate along the golden path. And we also had this other feature. You could like put out this sonar pulse and you hear where all the items and enemies are located.
That's so clever.
But Brandon was playing that and it was like, this navigation feature is great, but I don't want to just follow the golden path.
Right.
I want to navigate to other things. It kind of occurred to us like, oh, we can combine these two features. We can let you scan for items and then navigate to that item.
This gives you more room if you do it this way for different types of sounds for different types of items. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different sound for ammo, different sound for parts, different sound for explosive, different sound for keys. Or
craftable and collectible.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Right on.
But since we want to hunt for secrets, just like anyone else, you're also going to want to know that, hey, there's something way over there.
Players with disabilities.
That's
still
such
want
valuable
challenge.
feedback
It's
as
not
well. Like
about
he's
just making an easy mode.
Yeah.
So what happened there was an auto vault. So you pressed into a wall and it automatically vaulted.
I feel happy about this.
This is an example of actually the good part of the studio culture, which is self-empowered, that I think allowed us to do this crazy thing, this thing that, you know, I couldn't tell you if it makes business sense to some degree, but it was something we were passionate about and interested in. It was a way we saw we could make the game better. It was something we saw we could like push the frontiers of, and we went with it. Studio leadership was supportive of us, but this really was like a bottom-up kind of initiative.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that early success really helped to build momentum for the rest of the project.
Shielding everybody from the cost, from the budget of these decisions helps them focus on their discipline. Don't worry about money, worry about making the best game possible. Trust that they
Okay, I need to unpack that whatever noise you just made.
What?
Was that, I want to know, because you're like, I know you're business brain, so I want to know what you're thinking when you make
Oh,
that noise.
no, I haven't seen a lot of behind the scenes footage for a lot of games, or like, really the direct, right, he's like the
level that he's talking about.
Yeah, and I just think that there's such a care for who works for him. And that is, at least it's displayed in this, and I'd imagine, like, you see people seem very happy there, and I mean, in this industry, even if you don't see all the behind the scenes, you hear about things, right? Like, a lot of negative stuff has come to light about multiple different companies within the industry and things. And so I think when we're talking about jobs in general, like the happiness and health of people that are in this position, that you want to keep them in love with games the way that they've started out, right? Because you can start at any job and be so excited and enthusiastic, but how do you keep people around? And he seems like he does a good job of balancing that. I mean, I know this is like a small window into it, but...
And I love that he was like, not talking to them about money will help them focus on what they need to do. I know so many, I'm sure, managerial type positions that could go, this is so expensive for us, so you got to get it right, or this is costing us so much, so you have to do this, and use it as almost a tactic to get better work out of somebody. But instead he's seeing the other side of that, which is nice. He
like respects that they are so good at what they do, but when you create limitations for people to work with creativity, you limit that creativity, limit their capabilities, and you end up hindering their brain and their, like, what they can bring to the table. And so I think if you're going to want to be cutting edge and you want to push boundaries and limitations, you have to be willing to push some financial boundaries too, probably. And hopefully there were enough people that backed it. And
not everyone responds well to pressure, so some people work really well under pressure. No. Do you?
Under pressure?
I think you do.
Yeah, I would say, like, I feel like I do. I do like a little bit of applied pressure.
And then some people would not. So like having a blanket way of just not adding that into their factoring.
But I just see a lot of incredible leadership, like qualities that have come through from him. Again, I know it's just a small glimpse into it, but it's really refreshing to see.
I agree with you.
But there are people at the top that are looking at the budget and considering that.
And company functions, like...
At a certain point in the project, we start
like
offering dinners to the team.
And snacks, which is extremely important for me in a workplace environment.
And it's kind of like an acknowledgement of, like, okay, there's a lot of hard work to get done.
Fried chicken?
And we know people are probably going to want to be staying late.
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
We were at dinner, and they were like, do you want any vegetables? And we were like,
oh yeah, we were getting lamb. We were getting lamb cutlets, and he was like, do you want anything with it? It just comes with lamb. We were like, no,
just the lamb.
Just the lamb.
It's like spinach? No.
Oh.
Here we go. Okay. So it did,
got pushed.
Oh no.
I must have felt it for months that this release date is not realistic with how big the game is. People were asking us, is this a real date? Because it's not feeling like a real date anymore, so we felt like we had to react pretty soon. And then at some point it just felt like because people were starting to put in longer hours, it wouldn't have been fair to not figure this stuff out sooner than later.
The last of it.
Sticker?
Yeah.
We're never gonna finish this game.
If you work hard for longer, that could have a toll on you. We tell everybody, pace yourselves. It's like it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right. It's just another. That's right.
Well, because like I know we keep kind of dancing around this, but I would imagine that working on a game is probably one of the most thankless parts about a game in a way.
For sure.
I mean, you often hear the voice actors get a lot of credit from it, which isn't necessarily a wrong thing. Like they bring characters to life.
I say this as one. We go in and read what somebody else has written, or and then all the animation is put onto our voices, and like that we do the component that we do is such a small part.
You do bring them to life.
Yes,
you
absolutely
breathe life into a character.
But the lines are written for us, the characters are drawn for us, the design is given to us, the story is given to us, the audio, everything that sets up what we do is already pre-placed. So, which is a whole other number of jobs. So. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I say that about all acting in general, actually. Theatre, film, the actor
so many people behind it.
Coming in, facilitating somebody else's vision, and then gets the applause for it. And the people that have lit them on stage, and the people that have, made their costumes on stage, no one knows who they are, and no one's applauding them necessarily. And it is a little odd. I do feel that way.
And even creators. Like, as the creators, like, you get, recognition for playing games or things like that, or, just putting out content of somebody else's. Like, we're playing a game that was created by all of these beautiful minds and creative people. And I can't imagine that I'm sure, like, I think that's why I'm so fixated on his leadership, because I can't imagine working in this industry and not having somebody that really supports you and your vision, and
having a boss that goes pace yourself when you are when you're working on one of the biggest and most anticipated games in the entire world. This is not just like a specific point. This is one of the most anticipated games in the world. How could you pace yourself unless you had your boss going, be careful?
Because behind doors, he's probably panicking a little bit. Like, there's a bit of like stress. But he seems like he weathers that. Like, he seems like he's the one that's like, okay, I'm gonna take on, this worry, and you guys just do your jobs to the best of your ability. And it's really, seeing this feels like a love letter, yes, to the community, but to the people that worked on it.
Absolutely.
Like, it gives them a little bit of that recognition that I think they deserve.
Absolutely.
It's one of the reasons I feel like I love the way that you see games, is because you often like talk about the people behind it, and yes, it's influenced by being able to, like, you've gotten to meet some really cool teams that have stood behind you,
incredible.
But not everybody has that perspective, and I think for them, like, that one guy, you saw how caught up he got on that one comment, or a couple comments of saying, like, oh, this is fake, for them, I think a lot of their job is measured up into critiques and reviews and
proving things wrong, proving a point.
Yeah, and having all these people tear you apart in comment sections, or just reducing you to a review.
Yeah.
When they have no idea, and that's like the co-writer. Like, she was like, do a little bit of research. Like, do a little...
Yeah, just look a little further than your backyard before you start pointing fingers, I think. And
I
think there's a lot of people in the gaming industry responsible for some of those, just shortcuts before you make a thought. I'm sure we're all like... we're all guilty of it, but...
Yeah.
These people, people listening, I think before anyone makes a thought and types it online, people read it. Clearly the people that make these games are reading it. So...
And sales, like, they're measured, their success is measured by sales and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. I'm looking at all of their screens and I'm just thinking, this is a PS4. This is a PS4. Which you didn't you say you hadn't?
No, I did. My first thing was a PS4.
Oh,
it was. Yeah, it was for Bloodborne, but it was a Red Dead Redemption, like, box of a PlayStation 4.
Oh.
It was the Red Dead Redemption version. That was when I got it.
Was it like, did it have a skin on it and stuff?
No, it didn't actually. Oh. It just came with a copy of Red Dead.
Wasted opportunity, I feel.
We need more skin controllers.
Yes.
That
one last was PlayStation.
Oh my god.
Leave some gas in the tank.
Right now we are dancing a very intricate and dangerous dance. We have something like 6 months left to finish the game. And we are also showing a demo to the press.
Batman.
The longest playable demo we've ever done. 2 separate levels of the game. A level towards the beginning of the game where you play with Dina on patrol outside of Jackson.
I loved that.
And then the second part of the demo is in a level super duper challenging.
Ellie by herself murder mode.
Murder doji.
So what we're doing for the press in 9 weeks is really those 2 levels of the game. It's unlikely that we're going to need to touch them again until the game ships. That was really the only kind of demo that we could do at this point.
It's
still
the
help further our production goals as well as this like
it's
marketing
calming. It maybe
boost
helps
of
them to calm down.
Yeah,
They're like, okay,
maybe.
everything's gonna be fine.
The more we talk about it, the more we convince ourselves, okay, this would actually be a good time to just put out a trailer.
Building these 2 major demos and a trailer next to the rest of the fucking game.
And it felt
I feel nervous
impossible
listening to them
early
because
on.
I feel like I'm. I
It's
don't
the
know,
thing
I
that's
feel
always
like
hard for us, the polish. You
Yeah,
review these
like you
things,
feel the, like,
and
crunch
the
time.
stress.
you're looking at all these tiny details. It's like, even that shot of Jackson is like, where should the trees be? How much fog should there be? How much sun should there be? How should the sun hit the clouds? How we get all these civilians, the kids, do they have the proper gear? Are they wearing the right clothes? Is the tractor
I was
leaving
like, look at the
tracks on
logs,
the
little
ground?
jiggle.
That
Jiggle
kind
on
of
the back.
crazy detail can only come through all these departments coming together and rising this occasion to achieve that kind of level of quality.
The magic is made. Naughty Dog. I also just I want to know where the name comes from.
Final trailer.
The Naughty Doji. It's so true. Title of this video: Naughty Doji.
Look how excited everyone looks for a change. They didn't look stressed in this one.
Yeah,
Almost nothing, and it's like pretty amazing what we can do when we all come together.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so amazing you can forget, and I've been here for a long time, and I can forget. So to remind you, and maybe reignite some of that panic, we're going to show you 2 trailers. One from exactly a month ago, and one from about an hour ago when we wrapped up the trailer. So enjoy.
I love that. You get to see before and after.
They're loud.
Who decided to join us?
Let's see the difference in a month.
You all know the drill.
Scarring.
It's giving indie horror game.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what difference a month makes.
What a difference a
Keep in
month
mind, this is
makes.
what the whole game's going to look like. We're going to make it this awesome.
Whoa, okay.
You can't stop this.
This was a good reminder. Look, when we come together, when we rise to the occasion, when we do this thing that people outside the studio talk about, like this Naughty Dog magic, this is what it looks like. So when you look at parts of the game that aren't there yet, know that we could get there in a pretty short period of time when we're so focused.
I mean, that's like night and day. 2020. Someone came up?
The date was the scariest part.
Oh wait, is this?
The date was the scariest part.
You got
The date
the trailer on?
I feel like I should be clapping too.
I know, let's go! Oh, we've already both played it.
Actually run through the events of Outbreak Week, which is when the trailer is going to debut. We are going to be having the big press event in Koreatown at this giant warehouse. All over the world come. We got make sure very comfortable chairs for 3 hours.
I want to be the person that, like, curates gaming event spaces. I think I would. Interior design mixed with video
Fable
games.
space.
Oh
in real
my.
life, we celebrate September 26th as Last of Us Day.
September. Okay, I need to write this down. September 26th is apparently Last of Us Day.
I didn't know
Every
that was
year.
Last of Us Day.
That's actually very near our friendiversary.
That is near our friendiversary. Yeah.
Every September 26th, we've done something for Last of Us fans.
And yes, we do have a friendiversary. Don't even say.
When people play these 2
Yes, that is
sections,
your
which
plight.
are very different, I hope and I feel that both of them are equally impressive.
Love the sound.
You can see the flesh change color from the outside to the inside.
When you play that first demo, you're
Yes,
like,
you
that
can.
was incredible.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Oh my god.
They were
This
like
could have been the whole demo. This
jackpot.
could have been the whole thing. It says enough about what the game is.
It was
The
that
flick.
like flick.
And
It
then you
was
play
the
other half,
flick.
and it's like way more mechanics heavy, way more combat heavy.
Keep going, boy.
Oh, I was always so impressed. First of all, I don't know where this is, but why are these people having such nice outdoor?
There.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good shot. Sorry.
In the
No,
highest
I'm just like the
level
outdoor
of how
cooking
Naughty Dog
area.
is
This is
perceived as a company.
Oh, like
outdoor kitchen.
It's that we're story
beautiful.
first
The grill.
and mechanics
It's not just
second.
the grill, it's the
A
whole
lot of it is, I think,
Countertop
proving
outside.
to the press
Countertop,
and proving
yeah.
to people that yes, we can do both.
I want people to walk away and say, this is the best controlling, this is the best feeling third-person shooter.
It's on the level of the best action stealth games you've ever played.
It's
so one
such
of the
a
things
beautiful
that
balance
I've
of
always
challenging
found really exciting
and
about
fun.
The Last of Us
Yes,
is the
there
kind
were
of
stealth can get so
yes.
frustrating. Like if the game punishes you if you fail the stealth, and then
Because
like
you just did Metal Gear.
Oh, I did it. Yeah, all of Metal Gear Solid from 7 games in a row, and like if a game sets up stealth and then you fail the stealth and then it becomes impossible, then the breaking of the stealth feels so frustrating and you feel so foolish and so battered by it that you don't want to try again. But with this, you fail stealth and it goes straight into a very adaptable combat mode where there's so much at your disposal to handle breaking stealth, so that it doesn't make you go, oh my god, no, I just have to start again, I'm so annoyed. It makes you go, okay, switch tactic, I've got loads of other things that I can do at my disposal. And so you don't, sorry, just getting nerdy.
No, I think that's so important. I think it's that it adds to the fluidity of it, and I think that's something that we look for in like games that have puzzles too. You know, like
something
if a puzzle frustrates you too much,
long.
that is something where it's keeping you engaged and it's challenging you, but it's also not making you want to pull your hair out or get more gray hairs. That was not a dig at you. I have gray hairs too.
More gray hairs.
Oh my.
I am going grey, okay, a little bit.
We're embracing
just
it.
a little bit. I don't talk about it too much.
Fidelity with which we represent human intelligence.
One of the ways that really helped make them feel more human and more alive was the way that they use their body language to communicate to each other.
Everybody spread out. We may have multiples.
We had a number of sessions where the animation team, design team, and programmers all got together and we acted out a number of scenarios. And what that does is it gives us really great reference and touchpoints that we can always look back to about the way that we naturally behave, the way we naturally respond to each other.
Oh wow!
I also do wonder if they
those are the types of details that we want to weave back into the
SWAT
game.
Team.
No. But I think they've. I mean, I guess you can just do your research on a weapon. You don't have to like refer to like an expert. Or like refer to. I know that there's some games that cover more probably military premises that do I think refer to.
When this is more like people just
expertise.
Learning on the fly because they have to.
Because it's adaptation in a crazy situation.
Someone took out Zoe.
Them calling each other by name was something I'd never heard in a game before, so that you feel that even though they're in opposition, that they are a family, they're a unit, they know each other. Oh my god, Jason just died. They mourn for each other and try and find out who killed Jason or something. But
they're very quick to be like, they quickly recover because that's probably the light. That's you can't.
Yeah, you kill like a whole bunch of NPCs in an area, and no one's grieving for each other and calling each other out by name like they've grown up with each other for 10 years.
That is so true.
The guilt and the weight of what you're doing as these characters is so apparent all the way through. The moral weight of what you're doing.
Yeah, the moral weight. I think that's just something that is so cannot be overstated. Yeah. By the way, look behind you. Just Bun.
Oh, my cat is in a little.
It's like a croissant.
Prawn position.
No, prawn. It is a prawn position.
Shrimp, if you're.
You ain't
American.
never seen a shrimp like me.
You ain't never seen a shrimp like me. Hey.
Sweep the whole goddamn street.
This is littered with our inside jokes.
Our NPCs are
If
named.
things don't make sense, just
so
go
they
with
understand
it.
these people have relationships.
They want to get revenge on you. It's this little mini loop of the whole premise of the game.
Yeah.
Omar, flanker. That's so cool.
I just killed their friend and they want to kill me now.
Stick would smack right now.
There's a cost. You killed that person. His friend now feels a loss. You know, his dog is now alone.
Oh, I loved the headshots with
the dog whined. I didn't even notice that.
I think I always took
Dogs
the dog
are really
out
difficult.
Yes,
I never heard a yawn.
The dog is the hardest.
Turn around. They kind of like wheel around
Those
a little
dogs be
bit.
smart. They smell you.
something, girl?
The main concern we had is how is it that we can actually get a dog to perform a dance card on the motion capture set?
Oh my
and
goodness.
when we finally brought them on set, it was just incredible what these dogs were capable of doing and what the trainers were able to accomplish in a short time.
There you go. The tail is all bunched up in the back.
They move extremely quickly.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
So they're super hard to shoot.
I would always. Yeah.
They are
bad
very low to
dodgy.
the ground. You have like these attacks that are designed to go up here, and now you have to kind of do.
You say that like it's a really bad thing. I think they're
German Shepherds are like they're great guard dogs. They're like they're notorious like guard dogs.
Oh, I think it's like
that's it. Normally, I think they use German Shepherds in like canine units. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Down there.
They're incredibly. I think they're
killing a dog has gotten people more like upset than anything else in the game, than hanging people, than eviscerating people.
Upset than hanging people.
Don't I know? The comments do not let me. But you know what's funny is so rare you ever see a cat get killed in a game.
No.
Like I think I've seen only ever one, and I can't even remember.
Because so many, if you think about it, so many games have elements of combat, and a cat has very little place in combat.
I don't know. Are you sure? Would you rather face 1,000 cats?
A war cat.
A war cat. Okay, if you've read Warriors, you would disagree. Do you remember those cat books? Did you ever read Warriors?
No.
Okay. Well, never mind. I'm sorry. But I would. You know what? I would fear both of our cats. They have one less.
Cats are much harder to train. They couldn't take place on the battlefield because they wouldn't really listen to you. They want to do what they want to do. They don't care what you want.
But I would like to argue that they say cats will sooner consume your body if you die in your house than a dog will. So they still have a vicious streak. Yeah, Bun would start eating your body if you died. Apparently a dog would not for quite some more time than a cat would.
Holy, okay.
Little nom nom.
Does the dog survive? And everyone's like, oh no, first day.
First day.
Oh. Little ankles.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Yes, the first time that you
it,
have to.
And then you have to love it knowing that it's already dead. So there's going to probably be people that are upset about that.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Al. You want to go to the trucks? Let's go to the trucks.
With the notable exception of Alice, we took great pains to ensure that every combat encounter that you fight against a dog, you do not have to kill any of them.
You don't? Oh,
well, you need it. You can go through a whole section.
You can without
because they're all there because they choose to be there. But all of these dogs were trained to do this exact thing, and so you're killing an innocent creature.
I know. That was me. I know.
That feeling of discomfort is exactly what we're
hearing it hit the ground.
Yeah, I know.
Ironically, making them more realistic makes people feel more okay about killing them. We had like kind of a goofy art prototype. We had just a very rough dog. We found that goofy dog that had no fur, people felt really bad about killing that dog. Like when you would shoot them, they would fall over dead and give one last whine as their dying breath and stuff. So we just really tried to tone down the pitiability of all the dogs and stuff.
Oh my gosh, the sound cues for the dogs! I never even thought of that. What a good boy.
The best sound in most games are the stuff you don't notice. The Foley in the game is extremely detailed.
Of course, the sheep.
I would love to go to the farm one day just to record. Yeah.
Very easy to get wrong and noticed for the wrong reason. Very difficult to get right. But when you get it right, no one's going to pat you on the back for it.
That's so true.
Audio guys are kind of a different breed. We listen to everything all the time. It's kind of a curse.
Oh my gosh, this is fabulous. It just shows the level of...
Our ability to use pre-recorded assets from a library that's commercially available has been diminished almost entirely. Wow. Because we have very specific needs.
Do one more of those?
Except for the Wilhelm scream.
Even with the football thing that I did, we had to do loads of wild track of just kicking a ball and then scuffing the boots on the grass, kicking again, holding the ball, catching the ball, all just those little types of things. You can't just get them out of a sound directory like they're saying. You have to record them live.
It needs to be specific to that moment. No, that's true.
Yeah. The clicker noises and stuff, I always wonder who's doing them.
That is awesome.
We're trying to take what we did in the first game and bring it to another level of detail.
I just wonder how they make the click thing. How do they do it?
What's the... That would be so much fun. Just
mixing that tonality is
I
cool.
can do a good pterodactyl if the occasion
of the
enemies
themselves, especially the infected, have had to go through a review process. In the first game, they're pretty coarse. They're basically on or off. They're either walking around mumbling.
And now they've got vests.
Or they're freaking out trying to get you.
I want to hear.
It's almost whale-like.
And
you
so
know,
now
like
we've
like
developed this
sonar.
like murmuration breath system that allows them to have a much more natural flow between being agitated
Is it a
and
phone
not.
dial-in? Like
The dial-up connection. You remember it too.
Dial-up connection.
Remember dial-up?
Yes.
Or were you
No.
She's younger than me.
She's the classic. I'm 3 years older. I never let you forget.
No, you say it to me all the time.
A big part of those recording
go back
sessions is working with the voice actors. It's much more collaborative.
The dog cat runs.
The dog cat runs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I kind of want to
it's cool.
see what your more natural voice sounds like.
You're basically trying to coach people
I just have to
that
lean
they're
on
not
this chair.
zombies.
Yeah, now imagine sprinting.
No, that
Oh
was
yeah,
cool,
dude.
man.
Yeah, take your time, man.
That's
great.
really great.
One of the folks that we worked with, the sounds he was able to generate from himself was unlike anything I've ever heard before.
Oh yeah, the bloaters. Sorry, what's?
Gnarly sounding roars and breaths and wheezes and really interesting stuff that I've never heard come out of a person.
You're so... What is he imagining in this moment? Like, I want to know.
Sound is, we're inherently
Maybe like
post-production
just
on a lot of
something
this
where
stuff.
something's taking
We kinda
over your
just have to
system.
Yeah,
we
like
have
it's
to
a,
be
well, yeah,
as
you're...
prepared as possible, and that's what we try to do. A lot of stuff is yet
It's
to
like
come
pushing
for us.
out.
Yeah.
Which means there's not a lot of time left. Which means that it's going to get really intense. It gets really intense for
It's been
everybody,
intense
but
this
for
whole
audio
time.
people,
What do you mean?
From the start to the end.
We'll be here late.
This is crazy.
Crazy
Dojis and Cabana.
Dojis. Oh, release.
Oh, February 2020.
I think that
3 months left.
I don't know if it's the whole studio, but I know I'm definitely feeling very tired right now. I'm feeling a little burned out.
A little burned out.
I'm realizing that I can't crunch like I used to. I can't put everything I have into these games as much as I was able to when I first got here. It's pretty unanimous that this game is really big. Where it's bigger than we'd like it to be.
It's not going to happen, right?
When she says bigger than
The
we'd like
Last
it
of
to
Us
be,
Part
I
One.
wonder if she means how long the game is, or just the scale of it in terms of what is expected of the game.
I think I was picking it up like it became bigger than they originally expected because it starts with him talking about how it's projected to be 10 to 30% longer, I think, than the original.
I bet it was even longer.
I think it was even longer than that because I remember I think if you looked at it as like there was a third act almost, like after you become Abby and then once you go back to Ellie,
Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Santa Barbara is the last kind of leg.
That felt like I was starting to be like, okay, this is longer than I expected.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it, right? But
also, the Santa Barbara section, it actually flies by real quick.
It does.
You regain as Abby. Abby gets kidnapped real quick with Lev.
And then you have to infiltrate.
Then you switch back to Ellie looking for, you find the slavers area.
What takes you to the then.
Yes, and then it goes back. So much combat. Depends how long you take on the combat section, I guess, if you just went through and...
I think that was the only part where I felt like the pacing... It was like, it felt like it took longer than it actually did. It flew by. But it felt because...
I could have had longer there and less in the forest because it was such a nice change of location, being on the beach and then with the sand. I was like, oh my god, I would love to do more in this area because I just thought it was such a lovely change of environment. I could have probably had a bit, maybe less.
Because it ended up to me feeling like it rushed the ending. Like at the by the time you get to the boat and by the time you have that that final clash.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay,
quickly.
and then it ends, and then it goes to
it does happen real quick.
Her returning home, and so you're like, that would be like my one thing where I'm like, okay, this is feeling like slight. I guess it kind of as the player, you just get pulled out of it for a second, and we talk about that. You know, where certain things will kind of pull you from the moment.
Yes, I wonder.
And that was one of them.
I wonder if any of that was intentional to make the player feel as exhausted as Ellie was. I wonder if any. Do you know? I don't know whether I'm just.
No. Are we just trying? We just trying to see the
make
positive
the game in my head. It's the best game ever made, so I can't. I'm always welcoming flaws to anything. I just wonder if that by the time you finally get to that bit and Ellie has just got nothing left, And neither of them do it.
No, neither. Yeah.
Neither of them do have that moment either.
They both feel
and in that fight they've got nothing and
spread to the
do you. Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, dude, Abby held her weight after also everything she had been through. Like,
if I had been like starved and dehydrated and strung up and had to fight after that,
So that begs the question: did Ellie have a chance if she was freshly, a couple Gatorades down?
Well, if they were both at their previous
full peak,
yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like much of a question. The guns. But Ellie's got good tactics.
She does. She's quick. She's agile.
She's hard to fight. When you're as Abby at the theater and you have to.
Oh.
Ellie was nimble and smart and the traps, and she was really hard to get to. And I felt almost proud of Ellie in those moments because I was like, I don't want this to be easy to get. I don't want it to be easy to get Ellie back when you finally have that kind of face off in the theater.
No.
I didn't want it to be easy to just get to her, but it's really hard to get to her in that bit, that stealthy bit.
It's true.
Okay, sorry.
No, I like that.
One is small compared to this game.
Possibly.
My argument: make the game small again.
No.
I don't even call them small.
There were times when I was writing 40 pages of in-game dialogue a night. Neil kept saying, "Stop! You have to give it to somebody else. We will hire somebody. We will make this work." And I was like, "I think it'll just be." I was just bullishly like, "We're gonna handle it. I'm tough." I would like somebody to teach me how to have work-life balance.
Oh! There are some times where I wish I had somebody in production or a big.
If anyone ever knows the secret, please let us know.
Let us know.
Brothers, I could go home. This is great. This is already great. You don't need to do the next thing.
I feel like at any given point, you'll go into the kitchen and you'll find people, what I would say, salaning about the game.
Salami?
Going deep philosophy into what's working, what isn't.
Salons.
People criticizing this or that. This doesn't look good. I don't like this scene. This doesn't work for me. I hate this.
Wow, so there was even divide within them.
And, expressing doubt to each other and is this going to come together? Is this the one that screws Naughty Dog up? Let me just exude whatever confidence I have left. Let me try to bestow this person with it so they can feel inspired and go off and do their work. But then sometimes you're alone in the office and you're like, what if this doesn't come together? What if this is the one that sucks? What if this is the one that sinks Naughty Dog? So then you have to kind of bury it, compartmentalize it. Who knows what damage it does to your body while you're doing that? Because ultimately...
Have you ever considered the possibility that A Last of Us 3 is being made right now as we speak, and they are having all of these exact problems and worries about getting a demo out or getting a release trailer out, and they're all worried about it?
It's true.
And they could have been doing that for the best part of a year, 2 years.
And they gave this to us, satiate us for a little bit, and they're actually.
But he's saying how much they could never talk about it, or they were trying to get before anyone knew about it, they would put a tiny teaser out and make sure it was right before they do it. They can't tell nobody will know about that's happening.
But would it be a continuation, or would it? Well, at this point.
Oh, we can talk about that at the very end. Because I wonder if you. Okay, sorry.
Okay. We'll finish.
You can't let that fear dictate.
A 2-hour video into 5 hours. Welcome
to
Kastaclysm and Anna Demetriou.
Sorry.
It work and just keep the faith.
My bad. I wonder how long this is. I actually have no idea. We're just gonna have to figure it out.
Oh, I know. Primary filming on this project ceased in December 2019 due to COVID. Wow.
2023.
The following interview was recorded after.
Oh. Right. So, oh my gosh.
In 2023.
They had to all the stress they were already feeling, and then
COVID happened.
The game was just about done. Was content complete?
And
we were fixing bugs when
all the pushing out right during that time.
There's these rumblings of this pandemic happening.
I remember making a game about a pandemic.
Yeah, we did talk about that one.
For real pandemic?
Yeah.
At first it feels like, this is nothing we need to worry about.
I felt the same way. I was like,
wow, he cut his hair!
To worry about
Yeah.
And are people going to want to play a game that takes place in a pandemic when there's a real pandemic?
Yeah. Timing.
We had never worked from home ever. Naughty Dog was actually strictly against working from home.
We did not have the infrastructure set up at the studio to work from
hybrid,
home.
And it's because we were so intense.
Security. So this is what I was gonna say. Is I was wondering if it was almost like a. I wonder with gaming companies if it's almost like a skiff, where they have codes and they have to log in and they have to go behind closed doors. And do they have windows that are open in certain places?
Equipment that was high spec enough to run all the things the software they're running.
It would have been and so that's why I'm saying when you would take it to home. I'm wondering how they navigated that because of leaks and things. And I wonder if they even had I don't know. I'm wondering if how like enclosed off it was. Because we see this all the time in the gaming industry, right? Like leaks get out.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. And leaks.
And
all of our data, including our emails and our chats and IMs, it all had to be on a server inside the building.
Right.
I wonder how much you can get done without that. Or you just have to trust people. Wow, 15.3.
We were like air-gapped from the outside world.
The operations team, the IT team, our engineering team, they all had to coordinate in a very short period of time to get us working.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It looks heavy.
We don't even know when the game can come out.
Sony was like, we don't know if we can physically ship this product with like the supply chain and stuff.
We had to come out and say the game can come out on this date, and we don't even know when it will come out. It's delayed indefinitely.
Update SIE has
and
been
Iron Man VR
to delay the launch of Last of Us Part 2. This was in April 2, 2020. I want to say that like, so I was streaming. I was obviously streaming during that time, and I want to say I remember people in the community talking about this. Like they were like, "Oh man, they pushed it back again." And yeah, at the time it just didn't even occur to me. It wasn't even on my radar really. Global crisis is preventing us from providing.
Yeah, like how can you fully complete a project of this scale when nobody is in the same room?
But I also hope that this delay didn't feel like any other kind of delay. I hope people understood the circumstances, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of our most hardcore fans are angry with us.
It shouldn't be.
It's a pandemic.
Around the same exact time, we started having these leaks. We're like, we didn't put out this video. Like, where is this coming from? It's a video from one of our reviews, so you could hear the note.
This is heartbreaking to hear. Because not only do they put their blood, sweat, and tears into this, and you saw how much, like, these people are stressed out.
Did someone hack a home computer then, or hack someone that was working from home?
Well, it said it was a video from one of the reviews, so you could hear the note. So I don't know if that would have been somebody within the company. Like, is there, like, a market for buying, like...
I actually have no idea.
I don't know where a lot of it, like, comes from. I have to, like, lean on you to keep up a good posture.
No, I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. I'm just on a stool. I'm on literally a tiny little stool.
Oh, we were not expecting to talk this much. But if it ever could be traced back to a specific individual employee, that would cost them their job.
Oh, 100%. And I think you could even probably take legal action because they probably signed NDAs.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But I just think it's despicable because...
Reminds me of the GTA 6 leak and everything.
I think it's like all fun and games, and obviously we get excited hearing about something early, but I wonder how much we really think about, like, it pulls away from the excitement for all these people that...
I'm so glad I never saw that. Or whatever this is.
Yeah.
Notes, and people that can't attend the meeting can watch it after the fact. We store all these videos on our server.
So you think somebody
Did it come from the inside?
Right.
Someone with a Naughty Dog?
My first thought was, this isn't like a developer leaking this, isn't it? This isn't someone on the team.
And then you start looking at your teammates.
That's this person in the Netherlands. Downloaded terabytes of videos through a back door in the server.
Screw jump.
Back door in the server.
And then this is where we made a fatal error. Let's close this back door. And then this person put out everything. A video goes up on YouTube, and I don't remember what the first video was, but it was something relatively benign.
But they weren't like super important scenes, you know, they were like little clips, and it was like, okay.
Wait, sorry, did I miss who it was? What
they
did they
said
say?
Something from the Netherlands, I think. They said they accessed it through the back door. I'm not like a tech savvy person, but...
You're like, the Netherlands, the back door.
The back door, the Netherlands, and I have no idea what
I don't know what
but
that
it
means,
sounds like it's important.
Sounds, okay.
That's a little weird. What is that?
All out of order and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's bad.
I didn't.
And you kind of wanted to just say, stop, wait, don't watch it. Like, you're gonna ruin things for yourself.
There's YouTubers I've watched for years, and they're making entire videos, and the title is like, fuck Naughty Dog. And fuck The Last of Us Part 2.
There's just all this negativity and no positivity because no one has played the game. They just have these videos
already
out
of
of
the
context
gates,
and all these rumors mixed with them. Abby is playable.
Why does it matter so much? Half the game is Abby. The game is double the length of the first.
Yeah, so people are getting annoyed already that there's a split because people are seeing the player being not Ellie. The rest of this article contains potential spoilers.
Yeah.
any leak, no one's going to be like, oh my gosh, look at this half-assed footage that isn't finished. I'm so excited to play it. Like, it's always going to look, because it's not the version that you should be looking at.
Right.
So no one's going to be like, yay.
Well, that's what they're fixating on. Is they're like, not only spoilers, but also, how are you supposed to give a game a fair shot if you... I mean, it is... And look, we go back to the trailers, okay?
Yeah.
But trailers are meant to excite you. It's a marketing tactic to get people to be interested in buying it. It's to, promote it. But having stuff come out that you didn't intend to as a whole team after all the hours, it's just a spitting in their face,
Well,
and then for people
Abby was trans because she has muscles.
Here's the ending: if they kill Ellie,
and then it just turns this whole political thing. Oh, Naughty Dog's they're doing this political shit.
Oh my!
And then I get this text from Evan. They just posted Joel's death, and my heart sinks. I can't even describe this feeling. It's just this like dread. It's almost like you just heard someone you care about died. I don't know. That's the closest I could come to. I thought Troy would be looking at that and be like, you see, you were wrong.
He said, do you think we did the right thing? And I said, I don't know, Neil. I haven't played the game yet.
That's the best response.
Was livid.
That is the best response.
I was real angry.
I'm bombarded with hundreds of negative comments, death threats, anti-Semitic comments. It's putting me in a deep depression.
There's some stupid stuff that's like, you're a feminazi, you're whatever shit like that, but it's like some stuff was really like, disturbing.
So you're like shaking.
The hatred, I think, that was behind it. I was sad. Like, there were a lot of days where I would just cry.
Every time I went online, it was just, that's all I saw was death threats and threats of violence. And the worst of it, the really like hardcore death threats got passed along, and they, made sure that they weren't anyone that like lived close by.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were like threatening my son, who was born during all of it, and it was rough. It was rough. What
the hell?
More than anything, it just kind of like,
these are games. Like, these are meant to make people have fun and entertain us.
It's crazy the difficulty some people have separating work, like a fictional body of work, with the people that are playing them, or the people that are making it, the people that are trying to give someone an entertainment experience that has got nothing to do with real life. Even if it is emulating themes and things like that, like the fact that this woman had to fear for her real life son because she played, very well and acted extremely well this character that is not real, is beyond any realm of my comprehension. It makes me so sad that actors have to worry about playing a character that is received so badly that they might have people wish them death. Like, it's bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
And I think it's like what you said right there. It's that separation, but to me, it's the fact that it's like, if you want to kill the industry, I feel like you start by the people that make these things. If you want to kill somebody's excitement and like whole team's creative process, just piling on horrible things about everything they've created is a great way to start it, because it's just, and it shows, like, I will say, it shows their resiliency, because obviously they're going to carry themselves with professionalism.
It still came out.
And it still came out, but to endure like all of this.
And it's such a surefire way of making sure that games don't make, just get churned out, don't make you feel anything, have no good stories,
and have no
don't make
connection.
You care.
These people, they're gonna go on and like, do you think they're gonna have the same motivation for the next one?
Absolutely.
Like, we hope so. Like, we hope they hold on to the positives, and hopefully they take the negative with a grain of salt, just like they take the positive with a grain of salt. But like, it's.
So I knew that she received all of this backlash and all this hate, and it was really concerning for her, but I didn't realize that was because of a leak, and I wonder if it
I didn't know that either.
I wonder if it had been in the context of the game story itself, and probably still would happen, but maybe less.
Yeah.
But the fact that it just came smack bang, no context, in a leak, this is just a girl playing a character that kills Joel.
Right. And then you have to play as
exactly.
her.
She's gonna. It's so separate from the context. No narrative context.
There's no Yes. There's
then she's
no
gonna. Of course, she's gonna get
context.
Yeah, that's not her.
Like, it's not. It's and
whoever leaked it had no idea that was gonna happen.
And it's like they were aggressive back because they closed the back door. And so that person took it as like an aggressive side, but they were the intruders. They were the original intruders. And like for them, all they got out of that was like a victory, and they feel like they're like
just leaking something. Meanwhile, this woman's like, you know,
getting death
had
threats
her life ruined for a few months or even longer.
Yeah, and I'm sure it continues to persist. I mean, because that's the thing about gaming too, is like games are around for forever, right? It's like we're still playing. Yeah, I'm playing Coder right now.
It's
like
so permanent.
I'm still playing it, and like
it's so permanent. Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing. Like that's the thing that's why we're taking 5 hours to probably talk about this, is because like it can excite you and make you have fun and enjoy things. But
totally.
I just don't. I think it's like for us, we always talk about it. Like we like to talk about the nitty gritty with it, but at the end of the day, it's a source of entertainment, and it's supposed to just be enjoyable and fun and make you feel things. And
absolutely. Same with anything else.
Anything
else. I do think
people forgot how to
there's a level to video games that's different to film and television that I always try and describe it, because I try and describe why people are so passionate about games more than I think anything else. Film and television, books, music, it's passive. It's one way you consume it and just sit there and watch it.
Yes.
Video games are interactive, and it's one of the only interactive forms of media. So you're not just watching a story being told to you. You are the character. You are the player. You are making those decisions. Some things are player choice. Some things
your choices, literally.
It puts you in the position of that media in a way that, and nothing else does. So I think stuff like this is so unfortunately more prone to happen because people are in it in a way that they don't. They'll view Joel in a way that they would never if it was a film. And it's a shame. It's one of the most beautiful parts of games, but makes stuff like this hit harder, I think.
And I think that's what it is too, is I think with games it feels like a living, breathing art form that never quite goes away. Yeah. Because you can always come back to it. And I think with films, you can rewatch films, but it's like it's been there, done there. We joke about this too, where it's like when we upload videos on our VOD channels of Twitch, it's like we'll have people that are trying to correct us on things we're doing, and we're like, wait, this video's already happened. Like this,
you missed that. Go back.
I can't. Yeah, and you're like, I can't go back. It's happened. It's in the past. It's already happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just wow. I don't know. This part is.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah. I think I just feel bad for the entire team.
It kind of like
for everybody who worked on
taught me to kind of keep a distance, you know?
And she has to close off because
when she gave, years of her life to this character as well.
Years. 2016 they started this.
This thing that I spent 4.5 years on, it's kind of getting violated.
And then for 2 months before release, there's like nothing you can do. You can't release the game sooner.
We know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. Release and sharing a pre-release footage for drum development will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see or hear, the final experience will be worth it.
It was.
And I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, but like even when we hear reviews about things, it's like I can't make a proper judgment on it. I loved what Troy Baker said there. He was like, I don't know, because I haven't played it yet. And it's like
lovely answer.
Such a beautiful answer.
Because how can you know?
Yeah, how can you?
Because it's not done yet.
I like the trees. You can see
and
the background.
Icon was
and that was the lowest point in my life. I'm working on the game towards the end at home by myself, feeling very alone. And I said, who am I doing this for? Like, why am I, it's too much. And I barely squeaked by.
I mean, and also 2020 was hard for everybody.
And then we were able to finish it.
With everything going on.
And, we sent it to reviewers, and reviews are through the roof.
19th. Oh. Last of Us Part 2, well, I know I can play it. Cycle of Violence. Oh.
I feel emotional.
And I called Troy, and I said, like, dude, I'm sorry. I feel like I failed you. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, just how some people are talking. He's like, oh, dude, I don't care. I played the game, and I love it. And I got really emotional. It's like I realized how much I care about Troy caring about the game, and that was a huge sense of relief.
There's not a single aspect of the game, Part 2, that I would change. And anytime someone comes up to me and says, I didn't really like what they did to Joel, I was like, great, awesome. Tell me a better version of the story.
Oh, rewrite it. Tell me what you'd rather
And to this day, they still can't.
It was a traumatic experience for myself and many people on the team, and the kind of hate we got because of those leaks will stay with me forever. And I can't even describe how angry I was of what the damage this person did to us. I want them punished in every sort of way. I wanted this to be this villain.
I love the way they shot
God.
this though.
Yes,
Him talking about
it's referring to the actual themes in the game itself.
Yes. The person is in their 20s or something. They live with their parents.
In their 20s or whatever. They live with their parents. And it's a fan. And then when we delayed the game indefinitely, this is what they said, is like, I wanted to force Naughty Dog's hand. I wanted to force them to release the game. So I thought if I just put out all the videos, eventually they'll put out the game, which again was never an option for us.
You can't.
And I remember sitting there,
trying to force early release by leaking it.
Sitting in my anger, and then slowing down and just saying, okay, if anybody should take the lesson from Last of Us Part 2, it should probably be us. Just let it go.
That scene. Oh no.
I'm so glad we did this.
I am too.
Because it's beautiful.
Back when I was feeling broken, I focused on every prayer. I believe, and I believe, 'cause I can see our future days of you and me.
The Game Awards.
He sang it?
We got Eddie Vedder to play Future Days for the Game Awards. I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan. Yeah, I know, so shocking to many people.
What a fascinating way to tell a story. It's just getting better and better all the time, and I really appreciate the way that Future Days was used, especially bringing Joel and Ellie together, connecting through music. It was cool to be part of it, so thanks for having me, and enjoy the rest of the show.
How lucky am I? Like, how cool is this? This person that I've admired since I was a kid is now like mentioning this game that we all made. And then we start winning award after award after award. I wanted that validation for the team.
Everyone at Naughty Dog.
Game of the year.
I can't wait to hug and high five and get drunk with each one of you. That's gonna have to wait till next year. And more than anything, and I know that I speak for the whole team when I say this, we'd like to thank our friends and family that stood by us and supported us throughout us making this game. You inspire us not only to make better, more meaningful games, but to improve how we make games.
This came out last year.
The pandemic kind of brought up that question of like health and mental health.
Yeah.
Are we developers?
Everyone was like, "You're gonna do it," and I was like, "I don't know when."
We have been pushing it for this trip.
Careers. How do we make this sustainable?
I chuckle in retrospect, just how absurd the failure of trying to alleviate crunch was. If you have great processes,
love that.
Love the game organization. What that does is it allows you to make a bigger game.
We read the post-mortem feedback for The Last of Us 2, and it was really, really upsetting to see what coworkers had gone through. So we were highly motivated to try to figure out how to fix it.
Everything about our workflows were already being upended with remote work and everything, so it's like, okay, well, yeah, we got to do this now.
And we knew that to make the real changes we did, it would take the entire studio working together.
We now have the goal for Naughty Dog to eliminate crunch.
The only thing that fixes crunch, the only thing, is just deciding that you're not going to crunch.
When we onboard people, we tell them, we have a reputation as a studio for crunching, and it's something we don't want. And it's something we're not going to do anymore.
First, we had to do, what is crunch? Let's define it.
I love this.
Because when you just look at hours, that turned out to be too simplistic.
It's a multitude of factors. It's not just like one thing. It's not just, because of this is what's causing crunch. It's literally like so many of these little things.
And there's so much data to like go back through and see where some of the,
every couple of months we send out a 90-second questionnaire that goes, are you worried about your workload? Are you worried about having to work overtime? If you feel like I'm overburdened with work, you have to tell somebody.
And now they can have functions again.
We used to, as a studio, when we were getting close to shipping a game, bring in dinners for the whole studio.
Oh, but
I love dinner.
Love dinner.
Any type of dinner.
We don't do crunch dinners anymore.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Being able to work from home.
Now they can work
hugely
from
helpful for me, for my
It
mental
began
health.
hybrid
Of
work.
like, my daughter's there, my wife is there.
Hybrid is really the sweet spot because I think the benefits have just been enormous.
In the past, our leads, our managers, were the people that were best at their craft, but not necessarily the best managers.
So we created the role of principal.
We really gave people the choice, like, do you want to make stuff or do you want to lead and manage?
And Arnaldo is now a lead designer here.
Now I'm responsible for a team, and I really enjoy that.
I didn't even know this guy.
Being able to share that knowledge and kind of work with someone, even if they're more experienced than me, and it's been great
Love
so
the flannel.
far.
A lot of flannels in this.
We
love
we went for flannel for this.
Very large
Ourselves as
and
well.
robust production department now that we didn't have.
Holding us accountable when we make a decision, when it's just everyone going, yes, more, yes, better, yes, polish, 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 tallying that up and going, okay, well, this is the result. Now you're not in your ship date anymore.
It feels
bowling shirts for a second.
so much like a different studio.
Stay
I
tuned,
hope that we
brothers.
can keep
for bowling
changing for the better and make sure that we're making the games that we want to make, that we're really passionate about, that we don't stop doing that.
We want self-driven, healthy
I love how
designers.
yes,
We want to have it
exactly.
all. We want to have both. And can we do that? That'll be the question, I guess.
That seems open-ended, and I'm ready. They could be working on it right now.
Well, he
The
said
HBO's thing
he
has
did
been
say, didn't he?
a
Released
wild
that
ride.
he thinks that there could be another.
Oh,
part
I
to the
forgot
story.
about So
Oh.
I never finished this. No, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish
I
it because
just
I was
wanted it to be like
trying to do a
good.
reaction to
Like,
it.
dude, if
Right.
it just comes out and it's a
different
good
breed
show,
recording reactions to TV series.
I
and
do
stuff.
think
it's
it's
a lot more red tape.
I do think it's brilliant. I think it's very
that's gonna
different,
be
but I think
huge.
it's brilliant.
Yeah,
they-
that's what I've heard. I mean, also
Yeah.
Pedro.
Enough said.
Maybe Pedro's the reason why I like Joel's character. Like,
Who doesn't love Pedro?
No, I
I'm
always
sure
liked
it
Joel,
will be very different when I actually see Abby being portrayed.
Yeah.
That will be so weird. I can't imagine what Ashley and Troy must be feeling.
Didn't they do a
Specifically
cameo? Did they do a
because
cameo
Ellie
in
is
Yes,
it?
they're
part
both
of the
in it
heart.
somewhere. Yeah.
In some ways, it was really hard.
To pass the torch.
I
to
feel
your
like
kind of-
Bella was the only person who could play her because I feel like she is Ellie. There's a part of me that's like weirdly protective of her.
I remember when Neil told me, he's like, we found Joel. I was like, he wasn't missing. He goes, Pedro Pascal. And I went, oh, we're bulletproof.
It felt like Craig and Neil together
away.
saw that this was a story about humanity, and they made it a story about
graceful way
humanity.
to
We got
pass on the
Pass
character
on,
to
yeah.
another
Who knew that
generation.
was Craig's
To pass
screaming
on.
from the sidelines going, I did.
The strawberry fog.
When Neil and Craig asked me to play Ellie's mother, Anna,
Oh.
Yeah, she plays him.
it made me so happy. And I'm crying, so it doesn't seem like it, but it was symbolic in so many ways to me. Being able to sort of bring Ellie into the world, be the first one to fight for her.
Being the first one to fight for her.
It breaks my heart.
Okay, that's
I
fantastic.
felt like on the other side, we could get this story to people that will never play a video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom is watching this show.
I've got friends, like my high school friends, that don't really even fully understand what I do for a living, both as an actor, both as a content creator and an actor. They're kind of like, okay, that's kind of cool. I don't really know, and I'm never going to get it. But they will watch this and go, God damn, that show is good. And I'm thinking, yes, I wish we could play the original, but like,
I had so many
everything
people
he's saying is right.
I have so many people after I come up and they're like, have you seen this latest HBO show? And you're like, take out my dissertation on this. Welcome
it's
to
called The Last of Us, and it's this brand new HBO show. And I'm like,
brand new HBO show. You maybe have never heard of it, but
show, and like, she can enjoy this story and she can be a
But-
part of it, and she's so excited. And we're
But I think that's, like they said, like being able to show this incredible story to other people, because I do find that it is easy for us to want to keep something for ourselves. Yes. It's so easy to be like, this is gamers.
There's
like
gatekeeping.
There's so much
all over.
gatekeeping. There's so much
especially in gaming.
Yeah, and I think like, I don't know why more thoughts aren't just like, this is so cool. I'm watching it getting embraced by people who I never thought would be into this. And getting to share something that you love, I think that is when you have a healthy relationship with it too. Absolutely. You know, like it's not something you want to like hold onto yourself and keep for yourself. You know, you want other people to enjoy things that you like and be excited and connect to you. Like it connects, you know.
Like, when am I ever gonna discuss my favorite video game with like my friends that have never picked up a controller in their lives?
Yeah, and you can still meet them on some level because
absolutely.
Fallout, fantastic.
Call out to the Fallout, baby.
Working on season 2 and getting to see that.
I don't know if I would be used to that.
Someone could watch the show and then realize, wait, that's based on a video game, and come back and check out the game and then realize, oh, there's like all these rich games, AAA, indie, and all sorts of stories
Which,
that
let's not kid ourselves. Like,
are really unique to this medium.
Oh, it's mass growing. Future days. Oh, God.
I did some other interview where someone asked me about The Last of Us and would there be any more stories or something. And I mentioned, like, you know, we have written a story that takes place after Last of Us 2 that stars Tommy. And I hope one day we get to make it. And the headlines across the industry were like, Naughty Dog has outlined Last of Us Part 3.
Oh,
and that's actually wrong. It was always a small story. It was never like a full title.
DLC?
At the time, we had higher priorities at Naughty Dog, was like to fix our pipeline, to fix work-life balance issues. Just based on the war, I didn't want to prioritize the story, so that's...
A company prioritizing the work-life balance of their workforce rather than making money on a brand new game that everyone's waiting for. Let's say it again for the people in the back.
Say it again!
Story was shelved. And I still believe one day it will see the light of day. I don't know if it'll be a game or a show, TBD. First game had such a clean concept of like the unconditional love a parent feels for their child. The second one, once we landed on this idea of the pursuit of justice at any cost.
Oh yeah,
justice for the ones you love. It felt like, oh, there's a clean concept here, and there's a through line from the first game about love.
Oh,
if we never get to do it again, this is a fine ending point.
Yes, it'll be a trilogy.
Right, last bite of the apple, the story's done. The great thing about working at Naughty Dog is that we don't have to. It's always like, we would love another Last of Us, but if you guys feel like we're passionate about something else, we'll support this other thing.
But Last
Very
of
privileged
Us
position.
Last of Us
I never.
Which is the last of Us?
I've been just thinking about, is there a concept?
The last
And for now years, I haven't been able to find that concept. But recently that's changed. And I don't have a story, but I do have that concept that to me is as exciting as 1, as exciting as 2, is its own thing, and yet has this through line for all 3. So it does feel like there's probably one more chapter to the story.
Oh, that would be your first time really hearing that, right? Because
makes me nervous as well, though. It's such a mixture of feelings.
Oh, we did it! We did it! Oh.
Thank you for doing this with me because I wanted to so
you.
Much.
We took. I mean, you all saw. So this came out 2023, and we've waited so long to do it because we knew we wanted to do it with each other.
Yes.
I think.
Oh.
I thought Bun scratched and
blame Bun.
But yeah, I know we've talked about doing this for so long. We've gotten to share both of our experiences with you guys, and it's been through replaythroughs. Like my 1 was a replaythrough, and then 2 was a first time playthrough. And I know for you,
I wasn't. How much were we friends when I was watching your videos? But your videos would pop up. I would drop everything, whatever the hell I was doing.
That is crazy.
I would just drop. I would be like cooking in the kitchen, and it would be like notification. And I'd be like,
everybody
quickly, I'd be putting on my phone,
it's
headphones
so
in, and I'd be there with my steak, like waiting for you to hit certain bits that I knew I loved so much, and seeing your thoughts.
Seeing how I thought with it.
Yeah, your brain always sees things a different way to me, but in a better way, and it's so nice.
No.
And it was such a wonderful playthrough, and I remember sending you like an essay message afterwards.
It was perfect. No, it was perfect.
I'm so glad I got to watch that.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I think and this being your favorite game, I just feel really honored that you brought me on board for this. And
oh my gosh,
I think this is
flying to this country in the first place.
This is gonna turn into you go. But
no, you hang up.
You hang up. But I hope by the end of this, it's evident how much we both really care about games, but especially this story that was told.
Absolutely.
Not just in the first one, but especially in the second one.
Yeah.
And
whatever the third one, you know, should it come out, I hope it does what. Oh,
I remember everything.
This is a little glimpse into my watch history here. We've got like actor interviews, a lot of
Last of Us, The Boys,
synthwave playlists,
and then the song Zach Bryan,
karaoke backing for random things to sing. But
yeah, I just want to thank all of you guys for if you've gotten this far and watched it, but also for just watching our playthroughs, whatever it is, whether it's this and any game, The Last of Us.
Totally. It's such a, I know we always say how like fortunate we are and stuff, but I really think it's really important to use the word privilege, because it is such a privilege to get to just play things that we would play completely without an audience and consume and love without an audience, and then get to do it with an audience or with people that care about it just as much as we do, and get to hear your thoughts on it, hear what
all of the like extra like juicy tidbits you guys bring us.
Reading the comments on my Last of Us playthrough and hearing things that I played this game now twice inside out in my head. I've tried to get juiced it as much as I can for what I think about it, and there are thoughts that
all the different perspectives
still had never ever crossed my mind from other people, and it's just a beautiful thing that everyone can perceive something in a different way.
It's so nice to be able to share any playthrough through our eyes, and then just have you guys interact with it and just support it and be so kind-hearted. Like we talked about, we're both content creators, and so we're often bouncing around from game to game to game, and I think I can speak for both of us. I don't think we take any game too much for granted. I mean, we always have things in the background of our lives that we don't always talk about, but I think at the end of the day, we come on here and we get so excited, and we feel that is a privilege what we get to do. We appreciate just the support. So many of you guys were talking about how excited you guys were that we were collabing for this, and it's just fun that we can take our content in different directions and we can do things together. And
absolutely, and we live very, very far apart from each other. We don't get to always see each other as much as we like. So I don't know when something like this may be able to happen in person again.
So if you want more of it, let's get Anna over to the US next time.
BIB moving to the States.
I also just hope you guys enjoyed getting to see a little bit of our friendship. A little bit.
In jokes that didn't make any sense throughout the entire video.
No, but I think, and I hope that you guys have gotten to meet somebody through gaming, or it's brought you closer to a community or a best friend, or just really...
It's a secret family, I think. Gamers and gaming is a secret family.
It's so true.
Most people still don't really feel like mainstream people. They still know about it. It's our little secret place.
Some people don't understand it, but they don't have to.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Well,
with that,
we love you guys.
We do.
And we will see you guys.
Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Have a lovely rest of your
day.
And
you guys are watching this on my channel, but please go check out Anna Demetrio on her channel.
At all.
Stay
right here.
Do eat.
Do eat.
Bye. Love you. Bye.